and practices and teaches and wants us to engage in multiplication. So we must change our mindset in terms of not having just event after event, but we must make our focus effective in that there is fruit as a result of our labor, that there is something tangible that we can possess, demonstrate, and witness that God is doing something special here, over here. He's doing what? Multiplying. And that's what we need to focus on in terms of one family, coming together in those three areas: intentional restoration, active growth, and multiplication. And then there is also a need for us to come together more as existing congregations, that we need to have more interaction, we need to have more of a fellowship. Yes, we're spread across many islands in the Bahamas, but we have to make that effort to be our brother's keeper and neighbor, in the sense that we at least can connect through relationships, through communication, through ministry efforts. Let's bind together and not think this is only a Nassau-centered church. This is only a Grand Bahama centered church. This is only an Exuma centered church. This is only a Crooked Island church. No, it's more than that. We are a family. And so it's important that we come together and pool efforts and move as a unit. If we are unified, there is no telling what we can do in this Bahamas. And so I want to bring back the unity. I want to recreate the unity. I want to inspire unity among our existing congregations so that we can impact this Bahamas and say, we are one family and we want you to be a part of this one family.
Bishop Thompson, it's been such an honor to have you on the program today and to have you share with us, what God has impressed upon you. And I am truly excited about it. I know that those who are, our audience is excited about it. I mean, it's just awesome. It's just wonderful. And we give God praise.
Amen.
For you and your family. And we will be praying for you.
Yes.
And we believe that you're going to be so successful.
At Harold One, I'm Ted Jervis, and this is ZNS.
Welcome to What's Trending, the show that will keep you in the know with all that's happening in lifestyle and entertainment. I'm your host, Stacey Campbell Marshall. Activists in the United Kingdom are tying baby slings to iconic male statues across London to protest what they call the worst paternity leave in Europe. A new campaign group, the Dad Shift, tied model babies to the statues in an attempt to focus attention on the importance of father-baby bonding. Campaigners are asking for parental leave that is affordable for people to take, gives a substantial allowance of time, and supports equality amongst parents. According to online reports, the UK has the worst paternity leave offer in Europe, with only 2 statutory weeks of leave paid at £184 or $244 a week. Research has found that 1 in 3 UK fathers took no paternity leave after the birth of their child, and 1 in 2 families where the fathers did take paternity leave reported that they were struggling financially afterwards. Back here at home, I think some companies offer a week, while other forward thinkers may be giving dads 3. And as always, we have a packed show for you today. We'll introduce you to Erica Morris, one woman and her team on a mission to make navigating the college application process easier for both parents and their children. We also have a look at a new Bahamian drama, Lookup Child. We have a sneak peek of the trailer, and we chat with the movie's producer. And eating for a good cause, Paradise Plates was this weekend. We will have all the buzz. That and so much more after the break. Stay with us.
Got termites and need to get rid of them fast? Trust Rent-A-Kill Initial. With over 60 years experience in the Bahamas, the global brand, training, and expertise can't be beat. Only Rent-A-Kill Initial gives you a 3-year warranty and payment plan options on termite fumigation. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rent-A-Kill Initial.
From paradise to paradise, Bahamas Air invites you to embark on a seamless island journey from the sun-kissed coast of Nassau, the Bahamas, to the rhythmic shores of Montego Bay, Jamaica. Soar high above a turquoise tapestry on the most trusted airline in the Caribbean. Our inaugural flight takes wing on November 17th, 2024. Don't delay. Book your idyllic escape today.
Did you know that 1/3 of all traffic fatalities occur as a result of excessive speed? Excessive speed impedes a driver's point of perception, which affects braking distance. In the inner city, residential areas, and high pedestrian traffic areas, the speed limit ranges from 15 to 25 miles per hour. On the outskirts of the island, especially where a sign is not posted, the law dictates that the speed limit shall be 30 miles per hour. The maximum speed limit for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is 45 miles per hour. Here are some safety tips for you. Avoid aggressive and distracted driving. Reduce excessive speed and drive at the appropriate speed to suit the current road conditions. Avoid operating a vehicle while impaired by alcohol or drugs. Be vigilant and always maintain good visibility of the road, and be mindful of other road users, such as pedestrians. Leave out in a timely manner to compensate for potential traffic delays. Even one life lost to traffic fatalities is one life lost too many. On behalf of the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division, please slow down.
This public service announcement is brought to you by FG Insurance Agents and Brokers, the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division, and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Legacy College Readiness and Tours has been around for some time now, making it a bit easier for students to select a university and program best suited to them. It also walks parents through the process of ensuring finances are covered. And today marks the beginning of another college tour for the organization. Joining us now live in studio to talk about the event is Legacy and Readiness Tours President, Erica Morris. Welcome to the show, Erica.
Thank you for having me.
So glad you're here.
Yes.
So tell me, how did this work of you linking universities and colleges with potential students begin?
This is a really funny story. I actually was doing a college-bound trip for junior achievement, and they did it before, but not to the level that I had planned the trip. And I just thought it weird. I said, you guys go on a trip every year to visit colleges and you don't come back with any scholarships? And my immediate boss at the time, Ms. Tammy Leckie, said, that's not your job. And I'm like, my job. And I saw it as a challenge. I started off with 2 schools. I now have 30, a little over 30. And I knew nothing, absolutely nothing about it. I didn't know what an articulation agreement was. I didn't even know what they actually looked for in SATs. So I learned as I went, and then eventually I became certified.
Oh, that is really
Yes.
fantastic. So what makes you so passionate about it? Because just the way that you speak, I can tell that it's something that you're very passionate about.
I actually love what I do, and I'm passionate about it out of personal experiences. When I graduated in '92, I had no clue what I wanted to do. So from the time I was 18 years old till I was 43, I carried this burden of depression. not knowing what it is that I wanted to do. I can remember asking God, like, God, what is my purpose? Why am I here? And just, you know, simply, hey, can I do your college-bound tour? Sure, no problem. And asking, you guys do this every year, and you don't get students to get scholarships? And that's what started it. And I actually had a provost at Middle Tennessee State who says, you're good at this. You should do this for the rest of your life. And I thought about it. I'm like, you're right. I like this.
Yeah,
yes.
And your program has really mushroomed.
Yes.
So you say that you have like 30 colleges and universities now. Tell me about the process of how it, you know, you started off really small and it has just gotten so big.
And it's so funny is that, you know, when you start off, I started off with 2 schools, and then I had colleges actually call me. And then one college will tell another college, and that college will tell, hey, you know, we have this girl down in the Bahamas. Maybe you'd like to work with her. And I just want everyone to know that I was the one that brought Georgia State here.
Okay, that's exciting. And how has the response from parents and the students been? I know this takes a load off of them.
Yes, it does, because I tell them, that's one of the first things I tell them, I am here to take the stress away from you looking for colleges. So the ones that I work with, it works really well with them. A lot of the parents I'm still friends with, and years sometimes after my students graduate, they still, you know, give me a call. I'm with one today.
Oh, nice. I know that's a good feeling.
Yes, it is.
So tell us about this week. What's on the schedule?
Well, I'm doing a college fair this year, but it's kind of a little different. It's more like an expo. And I'm modeling it after the Ministry of Education, their scholarship division. We're modeling it after their areas of priorities. So those areas of priorities, students are able to, we could never say guarantee in this business, but your chances of getting a scholarship has increased. And there are 12 different areas of priority. So we're going to have workshops with experts in those fields who's going to talk to students about why those areas are so important and need to be filled. And then we would have schools that have strong programs in those areas to actually speak to the students about it. And, you know, and it's not just that the college fair aspect of it. We want the student to feel what it's like to be on a college campus. So, you know, we're going to have the food trucks. Later on, after all of the workshops and the college fairs are done, we're going to have the high school pop bands there because of the arts.
Yes.
The Bahamas government does give money for the arts.
Good.
Yes, so we're going to have all of that. The Pan-Atlantic Council is going to be there. We're going to have financial institutions to come out and, you know, help parents figure out how do I afford my child to go to school and for insurance.
And where do they find out more information for the parents who are saying, I need to be there?
Yes, you need to be there. You can go to my website at www.legacycollegereadiness.com.
Okay.
And then you will see where it says events. You click that, register.
Great. I'm wishing you all the best. And thank you so much for doing this important work.
Thank you.
There's more to come on What's Trending, of course, so stay with us.
I grew up in a home where my mother believed God and God only. So we grew up in church. We knew church.
His humble beginnings did not discourage his determination to reach the top. His contributions to his community, the Baptist world, and indeed the entire nation demonstrate his unwavering faith that God would lead him through. Many call him iconic because his strength has pushed him beyond barriers. We reflect on the life journey of Reverend Dr. William Thompson, President Emeritus of the Bahamas National Baptist Convention, visionary, sportsman, Junkanoo enthusiast, political figure, devoted father, and man of God. Join us on Sunday, September 29th at 7:30 p.m. and on Sunday, October 6th at 7:30 p.m. for a Nation Builder from Hartswell, Exuma, right here on the ZNS television network.
Covering the news seems easy, but we put thought into what we're doing. The Bahamas Tonight Access Now, here to inform, educate, and entertain. A new type of newscast featuring social media trends, news from around the islands, interviews with the people you like, sports, weather, and fabulous entertainment. That's a Bahamas Tonight Access Now with Marcellus Hall and LaDon Davis. Live, starting September 16th.
Hardware is the helpful place. Everything you need under one roof, from electrical, paint, plumbing, outdoor, barbecue, automotive, lawn and garden, pet supply, houseware, and seasons. Hurricane season is now here, so for all your hurricane needs, we have a 25% off bargain zone.
Hey, thanks. I would have given more stuff, but I didn't bring my money. I thought this was a club, and I thought everything was free. Finally know what it is now. Ace.
We're located on St. Albans Drive, West Bay Street. Open Monday to Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and closed for lunch 2 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Lookup Child is the title of a new faith-based film produced by Bahamian Leonardo Newman. What is Lookup Child all about? Well, Newman joins us today live in studio to fill us in. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. So tell me, what sparked the creation of this film?
So, as a filmmaker, in 2020, there was obviously the pandemic, and then the year prior, Dorian had hit the Bahamas. And so, when my church decided that they wouldn't do a Christmas production to end the year, it just felt like, oh, we're going to go into the new year with all of this doom and gloom with the pandemic and all the COVID dashboards that just kept hitting. And so a friend and I, Alexis Burrows, decided, you know what, let's try to create a short film at the time to try to end the year to give persons like some sort of hope. You know? And so we started the process of writing the film, and then the country was shut down again, so it didn't allow us to make it. And so we surely did end COVID 2020 with that note of despair and sadness, but we decided to keep writing, and then I said, you know what, let's make it a feature film. And so over the next 2 years, we continued to finish off the script, and in 2022, we went into production.
Oh, nice. So you wore several hats, you know, in producing this film. Tell me about some of that.
So I was producer, director, writer, cinematographer, colorist, editor. I did not touch sound, though.
Okay.
I was very happy about that.
So tell me about the actors in the film. Are they Bahamian?
Yes, so it's an all-Bahamian cast. So we have Alea Ajigal as our lead actress. We have Raquel Lockhart as one of our other leads, and then we have Ruth Brown as our main supporting actress. And so Alea plays Jasmine, our lead character, and Raquel plays Julie, her mother. And they have basically a fractured relationship within the film due to the devastation from Hurricane Dorian and the transition from that life to this new life with them moving to Nassau.
So what's the message that you want people to take away from the film?
If persons walked away with the idea of hope and the idea of recognizing that people can sometimes suffer in silence, no matter how long ago an event has happened, it doesn't mean that people are somehow healed or just automatically healed just because time went by. And so if people are able to, you know, sympathize or have empathy towards one another, recognizing that you never know what someone has been through in their life, that would be great. But also recognizing that pain is not useless, and that pain is, the purpose of pain is purposed by God to produce within us godly character, patience, and most of all, hope.
Oh, that's
that hope
beautiful.
is in Christ.
Now, I know the premiere has already happened, so for those who missed it, where can we find it?
So we are currently working on additional dates, most likely. I could cut that.
Well, tell us about your social media. Like, you know, how do we find out, you know, when the news comes out?
So we're currently working on additional dates, and those dates will be posted to our website, newhillproductions.com/lookupchild, and you can either follow us on Facebook or social media, any social media, Instagram or Facebook, New Hill Productions or Y Christ Media Group, and you can stay updated with when our next showing is, which is going to be very soon. Very, very soon.
Well, good. We are very excited for you, and thank you so much for joining us today on What's Trending,
Leonardo. Thank you so much for having me.
We really appreciate that. We're going to take a look at the trailer now, too, so everybody can get a sneak peek.
Wow. Yay.
Wish that you would come into one of our sessions. You've helped me so much. I owe you so much.
Don't push too hard. One step at a time.
Hey, Jasmine, it's Mom again. I hope you're okay. I know we haven't spoken in a while. I've been trying to reach you for weeks.
Are you still ignoring your mom? Not you, man. Not now.
today is.
This time 5 years ago, Grand Bahamians were deep into storm preparations as they watched a Category 4 hurricane strengthen to Category 5.
Hey, hon, what's up? The storm that was on the news? I really hope it doesn't come here because we have the opening.
Come on, baby.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs. Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine room.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
We are here in the time of need. There's no discrimination. The mission is to relieve the suffering. We volunteer, we deliver care. With donors and partners, we're always here to turn compassion into action. Protecting life and health with our training throughout the years. We empower to heal the world. There is hope, assistance with disasters. There is shelter and love for our people. We can work together to help those in need. So volunteer with us and donate to show you care. There is hope, assistance with disasters. There is shelter and love for our people. We can work together to help those in need. So volunteer with us and donate to show you care. Together, let's build a more resilient Bahamas. Community farming for food security. Climate programs suited for our island country. Together, let's build a more resilient Bahamas.
This message brought to you by the Bahamas Red Cross Society in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Clint Watson has been the trusted voice of journalism for over 2 decades. He is your first choice for hard-hitting discussions, your best choice for current affairs issues and investigative journalism. It's time to start the journey of relentless journalism. It's time to start the journey of facts over fiction. It's time for the Rundown with Clint Watson here on ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
One of the most anticipated events on the Bahamian social calendar is Hands for Hunger's Paradise Plates, and I was there. This culinary soiree attracts nearly 2,000 attendees and raises a whole lot of money for the charity each year. And on Saturday, the annual fundraiser did not disappoint. From a snazzy Bridgerton theme to music that rocked all night long, the event's popular green carpet entrance, and of course, the food. More than 50 restaurants and beverage purveyors, as we say, put their foot in the dishes and the specialty drinks served at the event. The sold-out event had Atlantis' Imperial Ballroom buzzing with excitement. There was a silent auction, 360 photo booth, live painting and art exhibition, live bands, and a hearty good time with great people, great food, and great fun. Besides being the event to see and be seen, this was all for a worthy cause, as the proceeds go directly to Hands for Hunger and support their many programs, including the Hands for Hunger school pantries, mobile community markets, H4H empowerment program, and more. And of course, Paradise Place is also known for bringing out the fashionistas. And that's exactly where we'll begin with this week's The Buzz with the Bahama Beauty.
I'm the Bahama Beauty, and here's what's the buzz for this week. Plates took place over the weekend, and some of the looks definitely had me salivating. This high-slit black and silver tube dress with the puff sleeves is everything and more. The simplistic bling, the hair, the pop of red, everything came together perfectly. Tens across the board. One thing I love about this event is there's no pressure to go full ball down. This asymmetrical green halter dress, so simple yet still so elegant and appropriate for the event. Again, the pop of red polish making an appearance and proving to be a perfect accent. Another 10. Charles, your vacation's ready. Social media's most comedic couple, Miss Netta and Charles, spending some time with us in the capital, taking a ride over to Pearl Island and trying conch salad for the very first time.
You guys, this is Miss Netta and Charles. We here in the Bahamas at the Pearl Island, Bahamas Resort out here. And we have conch salad for Charles' lunch today. So are y'all ready? Charles, your lunch is ready. Do you taste the conch? This is good.
Okay. All I gotta say is 12 out of 10. And guess what else? It's thebomb.com.
Y'all heard it from Charles. He said thebomb.com.
Bahamian Facebook is rioting again. This user sent the community up in flames for 6 days and still counting when they posted, Nasuvians cannot cook. Following up the post with, everything is parboiled, flavorless rice. Of course, commenters wasted no time piling up the comment section. This user said, people in Freeport could barely make tuna. Another user said, people in Freeport only good for making TikToks. Other islands also catching strays. This user saying, nobody in Bimini can cook. Send me an email at thebahamabeauty@gmail.com and let me know which island you think has the best food. Video has finally surfaced of Diddy's NYC arrest last week. TMZ released this clip showing him being escorted out in handcuffs. Since the freak-off saga unfolded, a number of rather strange events have occurred. Multiple CEOs stepping down from their posts and even celebrities erasing their ex accounts. Usher was among one of the accounts being wiped, tweeting a few hours after, account got hacked and y'all ran with it. See you tonight at Intuit Dome. Hours later, tweets resurfacing to celebrities' accounts, but only from years or months prior. Definitely something to keep an eye on as the case develops. A new way to meet your perfect match is in the works. If you want to ditch the dating apps and find other singles looking to make a real connection, The Connected is a matchmaking service offering 3 curated events to help you find love in enough time to get a gift for Valentine's Day. So, Stacey, how many islands would you say you've been to?
Well, I've been to a lot of the family islands. Of course, my family island is Long Island, Crooked Island, but I've been to Freeport and Bimini, and, you know, I've seen a couple, Andros, I've seen a couple of places. I want to do more. What about you?
I think it's easier for me to say where I haven't been.
Okay.
Mayagüana, definitely one of them. I still don't know if that place is
and
real.
I'm scared of what I hear of all the mosquitoes.
So which island would you say you think has the best food?
Okay, so I would like to be biased and say Long Island because that's my people, but it actually was in Exuma. So when I visited Exuma, which has been several times, I kept going back to Castaways because I really enjoyed the food and I would try different things. And she made, instead of she's famous for her cracked conch, she made cracked chicken for me since I don't eat conch, and it was really good. So yeah.
For me, it was definitely Cat Island, this place called Hidden Treasures.
Okay.
I ate there for 3 days straight.
Wow.
To date, that is like the biggest lobster I ever had on my plate.
Okay, I'm gonna have to add that to my must eat when I go to Cat Island list.
Definitely.
The Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, in partnership with the University of Miami, granted one lucky Canes fan a once-in-a-lifetime getaway to the islands of the Bahamas. Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper, highlights why this partnership with the university is important to the islands of the Bahamas.
So this is a great partnership that we have with UM. We want to solidify our reach in the Florida market. UM has a strong base in the Bahamas of students and former students, and we are looking to really expand what we do in Florida in terms of this being one of our main source markets. So this is the second of 3 years with this agreement, and we are looking forward today really to rolling out some exciting initiatives to get more heads and beds in Bahamas. Today, you know, of course, we have the world-famous Junkanoo that's on display here today, and we have an opportunity really to gather information about future visitors, etc. There's an opportunity for us to share our QR codes and showcase some of the islands of the Bahamas. So we're doing creative things really to get the attention of future visitors to the Bahamas. So we're giving away a weekend for what we call Canes Weekend at Atlantis in the Bahamas, November 8 to 11. And this is going to be where there's going to be a watch party. I believe the Canes are playing Georgia Tech, and this is going to be an exciting game. People can come down for the weekend. As a result of doing this, we give a good boost to the islands of the Bahamas. People come to watch their hurricanes and enjoy the islands of the Bahamas, Nassau Paradise Island in particular, once the game is done.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Joshua Robbins, and this is Tourism Today.
Beginning Monday, September 16th, it's the new lineup of ZNS News and Current Affairs, 6 p.m. It's What's Trending, Lifestyles in the Afternoon with Stacey Campbell Marshall, 6:30. We head to the north for the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, 7 p.m. It's the Bahamas Tonight National Report, followed by the Bahamas Tonight Access, now at 7:30. Then at 8 p.m., your nightly news analysis show, The Rundown, with Clint Watson, and 11 p.m., the Bahamas Tonight at 11 with Royston Jones. It's a full lineup of the new ZNS, and it starts Monday, September 16th. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Well, all good things must come to an end, but the fun resumes tomorrow. Join us right back here on Tuesday to learn more about the upcoming Anchor Awards. We'll also introduce you to one of the amazing vendors at the Tourism Incubator Center who are expanding their entrepreneurial skills and brand building. That's our show. Join us tomorrow on the ZNS Network at 6 p.m. See y'all later.
At the House of Assembly, I'm Mukesh Lapinder. This is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Here's a look at stories making news tonight.
Grand Bahama tourism numbers set to outpace last year. Also, the $250 million Six Senses Resort rendering and master plan unveiled.
The beautiful beaches, and the beautiful shoreline, combined with the people in proximity to Florida, and it was pretty much a no-brainer. That's where we wanted to focus.
And police officials investigating the drowning of a 5-year-old on Grand Bahama and a tourist in Abaco.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition start now.
It's positive news for tourism on the island and could be a sign of even better things to come, as officials say airlift for the first 2 quarters have outpaced last year. Cleopatra Murphy has the story.
It's another island where air arrivals are seeing an uptick, and following the devastation of 2019's Hurricane Dorian, Director of Aviation and Deputy Director General of Tourism Kenneth Romer says he is extremely proud of the gains made in the first half of the year after a strong 2023.
When we look at Grand Bahama's air-only arrival compared to 2023, for the first 6 months in this year, we saw that Grand Bahama is actually experiencing a 7% increase in year-over-year arrival. They have a 16% mid-year below what they would have seen in 2019.
He anticipates the island will end the year just single digits behind pre-Hurricane Dorian and pre-COVID-19 numbers. With figures trending in the right direction, Romer says efforts are being made to spur that growth.
Bahamas there in November is launching their West Palm Western Air Jet, introduced a new flight just last month. American Airlines is doubling capacity this November. So we're looking at continuous ways to improve the airlift into the Bahamas.
The new Grand Bahama International Airport will also factor into continued growth, with Romer touting the $200 million redevelopment in partnership with Manchester Airport Group will be world class. With that and other infrastructural improvements, including efforts to increase room capacity, Romer is calling for Grand Bahamians to take advantage of them.
When you have the new airport and new airlift, it has to translate into creating opportunities for entrepreneurs and stakeholders. So this is the time for persons to really look at new opportunities, new entrepreneurial opportunities, and position themselves to take place for the ongoing growth that we experience now in tourism and also in airlift.
In 2023, Grand Bahama had 559,812 air arrivals, making it the fastest growing island for air arrivals. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Thanks, Cleo. Well, a new style of luxury living is coming to Grand Bahama. The Six Senses Resort unveiling its renderings, while founder Mark Weller tells our Shalia Roll how Grand Bahama will benefit from this $250 million investment.
The goal is peace and tranquility with the Six Senses Resort and residential living. The 50-acre property is estimated around $250 million, with 70 resort villas and 28 branded residences, focusing on sustainability, resilience, and wellness, redefining luxury living and tourism in the country.
Both of them will be luxury and designed around health, wellness, and also luxury cuisine as well as accommodations.
The renderings and the master plans unveiled, designs by an award-winning architectural firm, from a spa to multiple restaurants, event spaces, and a panoramic ocean front. CEO and founder of Weller Development, Mark Weller, says out of the 700 islands and keys in the country, the hospitality on the island is why he chose Grand Bahama.
The beautiful beaches, and the beautiful shoreline, combined with the people in proximity to Florida, and it was pretty much a no-brainer.
Now, as time progresses, staycations are becoming more popular around the world. The CEO of Weller Development says that he hopes Bahamians from near and far can gather at the Six Senses Hotel in Grand Bahama to enjoy the lush and luxury feel of the resort at a local rate that he hopes to introduce in the near future.
Our resorts aren't successful unless people from the local community utilize them in some way, shape, or form.
So just how will this mega resort benefit Bahamians? Weller says that with the opening of the hotel, hundreds of Bahamians will be employed.
But there'll also be a tremendous amount of other jobs to keep the project up.
The Six Senses Resort is also being constructed with sustainability and resiliency measures in mind. The start of construction for the 50-acre property is anticipated at the end of the year, with hopes to be completed by 2026. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Rule.
Resorts World Bimini is enjoying steady growth, expecting to welcome approximately 800,000 cruise ship passengers by the end of the year. Our Raven Davis speaks with the general manager to learn how he sums up the year so far.
At the end of this year, Bimini Resorts World is anticipating an influx of some 800,000 cruise ship passengers. General Manager Gregory Stubbs attributes much of this success to vibrant partnerships with major cruise lines like Carnival, Virgin Voyages, and Norwegian.
The island of Bimini has benefited tremendously from these cruise passengers and the cruise arrivals. We've seen all of the mom and pop shops just popping up along the streets. The straw market is doing very well. The golf cart vendors on the island, they are all over the place.
He says the summer months are the best period, with the second quarter kicking off the boating group business. Now, as they move out of the typically softer third quarter, they remain optimistic about what's ahead.
You see a lot of groups come here out of the South Florida market, Boston, and the rest of them to host their events. And in Q3, as we're coming out of Q3, we're kind of winding down for the most part right now.
He says Resort World Bimini is a significant employer in the area, embracing local talent while also sourcing employees from other islands.
We have a great number of our employees who hails from the island of Grand Bahama and the other islands of Andros and Abaco. But I mean, employment here on the island for those persons, uniquely for us, we also provide housing for our employees that comes away from the various place of islands.
The property includes a 305-room Hilton hotel, 16 bars and restaurants, 4 pools, and a 10,000 square foot casino. However, he says what truly sets it apart is the cruise port.
We have the ability to welcome these huge cruise ships that no one else in the family of islands can accommodate. As such, during our slow time that we're in now, thankfully our cruise ship they can let some huge revenue activities on the island.
Stubbs says that guests appreciate Bimini for its unique rustic lifestyle. Once they visit, the small island offers high visibility for cruise ship visitors, allowing guests to explore various beaches while the community benefits from diverse opportunities. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Reverend Davis.
In news from police on Grand Bahama, sad news to report as officers investigate circumstances surrounding the apparent drowning of a 5-year-old child. Further reports indicate that the incident took place on Saturday, September 21st, 2024, at a residence off Albacore Drive in the eastern area of Grand Bahama. Police reports say the incident occurred shortly before 2 p.m. when they were notified of a male child who was submerged in a pool at a residential complex. The child was retrieved from the water by responding officers who administered CPR until emergency medical services personnel arrived. The child was subsequently transported to the Rand Memorial Hospital where he succumbed. This matter remains under active investigations. Meantime, in Abaco, police on that northern island are investigating a drowning incident that occurred at the Union Jack public dock involving a 35-year-old female from Florida. Preliminary reports indicate that around 2 p.m. on Saturday, September 21st, 2024, police officers arrived at the dock. There, they observed an unresponsive female receiving cardiopulmonary resuscitation CPR from a relative. The female did not respond to the resuscitation efforts and was subsequently transported to a medical facility where she was examined and pronounced dead. Police do not suspect foul play as there was no visible trauma on her body. However, an autopsy will be conducted to determine the exact cause of death.
And still to come.
When we come back, the Deputy Governor General on her first official visit to Grand Bahama. We have the highlights of her tour and more straight ahead.
It has the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of. Now it's here. Commonwealth Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly approval. It's a service that just comes naturally to us, just like how love of tradition comes naturally to you. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
The Paint Fair family is excited to announce that they're rolling out to a new location soon. Stay tuned for grand reopening details and special giveaways. In the meantime, they are still operating on West Mall Drive while finishing up the renovations.
The Grand Bahama Home for the Aged is celebrating its 34th anniversary with a tasty grill out and raffle. Steak, chicken or fish, and grilled vegetables. Get your tickets today. Phone 352-5408 or 441-3081 for more information. Lucaya Service Company Limited, Lusco, wishes to advise the motoring public that the westbound lanes of the Casarina Bridge will be closed from Monday, September 23rd to Thursday, September 26, 2024, weather permitting. to allow for the repaving of the westbound lanes and to ensure worker safety during the process. During this time, the eastbound lanes will be converted to accommodate single-lane traffic in both directions. Pedestrians and motorists are advised to follow all posted signage and proceed with caution while crossing the bridge. Lusco sincerely apologizes for any inconvenience caused and thanks you for your patience as they carry out these essential repairs to the Casarina Bridge.
Join the Cancer Awareness Health Seminar and Health Fair on Friday, September 27th at the Pro Cathedral of Christ the King Hall. The health fair starts at 4 p.m., followed by the seminar at 6 p.m. with keynote speaker Dr. Robin Roberts. Get free screenings and vital health information.
The Tuck Shop is loaded with snacks and everyday grocery items, including cleaning products and drinks. Your one-stop snack shop where your money buys you more. Located in the Stafford Building, McKinsey Street, Freeport. Phone 602-1026.
Grand Bahama, Wednesday, September 25th. We're remembering Obi with a One Love Gospel concert featuring Bishop Denzel Rowe, The Cooling Water, Oslin Jordan, Bishop Simeon Alton,
I'm pressing on.
West End Primary, Holmes Rock Primary, Martintown Primary, and 8 Mile Rock High School. There'll also be special tribute. It's a One Love Gospel concert remembering Obi, September 25th at the 8 Mile Rock High School gym at 6:30 p.m. Be there.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. As Grand Bahamians and tourists alike gear up for the upcoming Junkanoo Festival in 2025, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, in collaboration with the Ministry for Grand Bahama, making changes to the highly anticipated parade. Shalia Roll has this Junkanoo update.
A new route and a new date for the 2025 Grand Bahama Junkanoo Parade. It's the first time in years since a change in the parade route. But get this, the date will also change from January 1st, New Year's Day, to January 9th, Majority Rule Day.
As Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, I thought it was fitting to have a vision to change the status quo here in Grand Bahama. I always believed that Grand Bahama needed some economic boost since post-COVID. It's time to us to move in the category of culture. This vision all started with myself, Sean Bowe, and Norris Bain having a cup of tea in a restaurant right here in Grand Bahama, finding how we could boost Junkanoo here in Grand Bahama.
The Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini also expressing his excitement about the new announcement as Junkanoo is heading back down to West End on New Year's morning.
We will give you a treat in this rush hour on January 1st. Bringing Junkanoo back to the streets of West End.
And for the new January 9th parade, Junkanooers are to make their way to Explorers Way for the Junkanoo competition.
I'm looking forward to the new date for the senior parade because I believe it is a wonderful complement to the January 10th Majority Rule Day holiday.
Now the Minister for Grand Bahama is calling for Grand Bahamian natives to come back home because things are happening on Grand Bahama.
Celebrate Majority Rule Day and the announcement of the winner of the 2025 parade with a cultural extravaganza on Tino Bay Beach on January 10th.
On January 1st, 2025 at 3 a.m., Junkanoo will commence in the west, and on January 9th on Explorers Bay, the Junkanoo groups will be hitting the road at 8 p.m. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Rule.
In other news, the deputy to the Governor General Ruby Ann Cooper Darling bidding farewell to Grand Bahama after a weekend-long visit. While making a special appearance at the Progressive Liberal Party's prayer breakfast on Saturday, the deputy decided to visit loved ones and longtime supporters throughout the weekend, encouraging them to remain hopeful about Grand Bahama's economic future.
It was a fully booked weekend here in Grand Bahama for the Deputy Governor General, Ruby Ann Darling. Historically, Darling is the first woman to vote, and on the inaugural trip to Grand Bahama, her tour included visiting areas that have recovered from Hurricane Dorian in the east to the home of hospitality in the west. The highlight of her trip was her engagement with local schools, and as a reverend and a musician, she also worshipped at Bethel Deliverance Center in 8 Mile Rock. She left these words of wisdom to the students.
The Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go. When they become old, they will not depart from it. And so I've seen it here with these children. You can feel it, and as you tell them that they are to grow, and the way that they grow every day will depend on what they will become.
On Monday morning, K4 students at Growing Heirs Preschool and Letty's Paradise Academy were filled with excitement as they sat before the Deputy Governor General, Ruby Ann Darling. A reading session taking place at both campuses where the Deputy Governor General encouraged the students to maintain good behavior.
Just to have the first female woman to register to vote in the Bahamas here with us, it's been an amazing experience.
We believe, or we know, that we have our future nation builders here, so it's important for them to know the people who paved the way for them.
When I heard that the Deputy Governor General would like to come to Growing Heirs to pay us a visit, of course, I was excited, and because she's a woman, the first woman to vote and a history maker, so it is an honor and a privilege to have her here at Growing Heirs Preschool.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson, Everest.
And that's a look at stories making news. Jay, tell us what's coming up in sports.
Miko just came from the YMCA swimming pool on Friday, and some of those swimmers are in Carifta mode already.
All right, that's coming up next, but first, you check on weather.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
See news in the making? Call us at 352-9713 or 359-5167, or you can email us at zns3news@gmail.com.
Sometimes you want pizza vibe without the whole dang pie. Now, there's a new way to get the bold flavors of pizza whenever and wherever you want. You just got to try Pizza Hut's new melt in buffalo chicken, meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, and chicken bacon wrap for just $6.99 with that. Pizza Hut's new melts are cheesy, crispy, and loaded. Call us at 352-9191 to satisfy your pizza vibe cravings.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
Life's twists, turns, and defining moments. RBC is available for all of you.
One of the biggest decisions you will make when remodeling a kitchen is the design choice for your kitchen cabinets. Whether you want your kitchen to look modern or traditional, the Casablanca White Shaker cabinets will make a sound choice. Stop into Conant Bahamas today and let them enhance your kitchen with the Casablanca White Shaker cabinets. At Conant Bahamas, they also carry an array of Calacatta quartz countertops. Conant Bahamas, Sandy Port Nassau, Freeport Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Eleuthera.
Freeport, get ready to witness the talent explosion of the year. It's Freeport's Got Talent. 3 epic nights, September 27th through the 29th at Port Lakaya Marketplace, starting at 7 p.m. Bring the entire family and come see the best of Freeport's rising stars, who will walk away with a grand prize. This is a competition you don't want to miss. Admission is free. Brought to you by Grand Bahama Port Authority.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports. First in sports, after a short off-season, the aquatic season is back. The Grand Bahama Mako Aquatic Swim Club has ramped up its training at the YMCA pool for an upcoming swim meet next month.
My expectation for this year is eventually see the result for this first part of the training from the time that we start working with this new team. We're expecting against a lot of them in Carifta with good results. A lot of them coming up to a different age group where they have to fight with oldest one. But again, as I say, they are prepared from 2 years and a half by now, and they have the base. So we're expecting very, very good performance on them. The season started in October with the first meet, and this part of the season we all work in the base because we receive a lot of new swimmers from all the programs, so we have to readjust. We always work in technique and a lot of kick at this part.
Next in sports, of course, the Grand Bahama Amateur Softball Association games played on Sunday at the park. Pat Uniform won against Ira Boys 18-17 in a close one. Steve Fantasy Ballers dismantled Taylor City Marlins. The final score on that one was 28-8. And Pat Uniform Reds got the W against Cooper's Destroyers 13-10. And finally in sports, Jonquel Jones and the New York Liberty defeated the Atlanta Dream 83-69 to take a 1-0 lead in the first round of the WNBA playoffs. Jonquel Jones had 9.7 rebounds and 3 assists in Game 1. Jones made her first 3 shots from the field and shot 100% from the free throw line.
And they're looking very much.
Now the Liberty will face the Atlanta Dream on Tuesday in Game 2. And that's your Monday check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Your Facebook friend is up next. Be blessed.
We all need to save time, gas, and money. Shopping at Save More can help you do just that. Make us your first stop for all your prescription needs and medical supplies. Get all your health and beauty items at the same time. And don't miss our huge choice of snacks to satisfy your cravings. And the largest vitamin selection and over-the-counter relief products. Need diapers and other baby care items? First stop. The new section for makeovers, cosmetics, and beautiful jewelry will make you sparkle for that next special event. Save More Drugs, your more store.
Guess what? Budget Pest Control has something important to show you. Cop the termite's former Samus, the super termite. What makes them super? Their ferocious appetite can attack your home from below and above. They even attack forestry. But don't worry. Budget Pest Control has extensively studied this species on Grand Bahama. You can even check out our scientific paper. So you can count on us to protect your investment. Call Budget Pest Control, the termite specialist.
Hurricane season is here. and the Lookup Service Company Limited would like to remind you to stay safe and be prepared. In preparation for a storm, we encourage you to 1. Assess your property and all valuable items. 2. Seal your doors and windows and repair any loose siding. 3. Secure propane tanks and small yard items. 4. Check for loose fencing and posts to prevent missiles. 5. Trim trees in advance and regularly to protect your home. Post-hurricane tips. 1. Make note and take advantage of our bulk trash pickup schedule and times. This free one-time post-hurricane service is provided to all LESCO customers and subdivisions in Lucaya. 2. To ensure that your debris is picked up after a storm, please separate all bulk trash in 3 piles: vegetative debris, household appliances, and household furniture. 3. If utility lines are damaged or visible, please contact the appropriate authorities to ensure that lines are de-energized. A team member from the appropriate authority must verify and remove any terminated lines. For more information on bulk trash schedules and hurricane tips, please visit our website and Facebook page. Lucaya, your home, our service. Stay safe and be prepared.
Jane Champagne and the Rhythm presents 102.7 The Rhythm turns 3, and it's a big performance with Taurus Riley live. Taurus Riley live. Oh yeah, the hitmaker, the reggae icon, Taurus Riley live. Saturday, December 14th at the Grand Lucayan Ballroom. Doors open at 8 p.m., showtime at 11 p.m. For 102.7 The Rhythm. Big birthday party with Taurus Riley. Live. Get tickets online now. TheRhythm3.com. And it's a big performance. Taurus Riley. Brought to you by Jane Champagne and The Rhythm. Saturday, December 14th, 102.7 The Rhythm turns 3 with Taurus Riley. Live.
Here at Freeport Decorators, we have hundreds of products for you to choose from. Whether you're in the market for trophies, plaques, rubber stamps, corporate signs, any kind of interior signage, stamps, or seals, we're your one-stop shop. We feature glass, acrylic, crystal awards for every occasion. We build all the trophies here on site. Looking for a gift item? We feature pens, key rings, mugs, tumblers, barbecue tools, even bamboo cutting boards. Have something already? Bring it on down. Let us see if we can print that special something on it for you. Need a headstone? Memorialize the memory of your loved one with a beautifully lasered granite marker. Our store hours are Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We focus on customization. So if you have an idea or a new concept, bring it on down or call us at 352-5557 or even WhatsApp your idea to us at 646-0777 and we will do our best to make your awards and recognition ideas a reality.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire news team here at ZNS, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight is coming your way next.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, fears of an added tax on the backs of Bahamians allayed. The Prime Minister boldly reassuring that there's no truce to a pending water hike. Also, out with the old, in with the new. New York changemakers hear the Bahamas' renewed push for tangible solutions to an unprecedented global challenge. And major steps underway to help curb the illicit trafficking of weapons. Hear how the country's doing its part to support the Caribbean Firearms Roadmap. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. Well, just as soon as it was made public, a curt response followed. The Prime Minister today moving quickly to shut down growing fears of increased water bills and new taxes on private wells. For more on that story, Devontae Hanna joins me live in studio. Devontae, what can you tell us?
Well, Makushla, the Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, put it quite simply today, and he said those claims are absolutely false. And those claims came in response to the firm response, that is, that he gave to raise concerns that the government plans to raise water rates or impose taxes on homeowners with private wells. And this, of course, on the heels of reports detailing proposals from that Water and Sewage Corporation in its 2023-2028 corporate business plan that allegedly includes potential rate increases and new taxes on private wells. Now, a report in a local daily citing documents from the Inter-American Development Bank prompting public speculation that water bills were on the way up. But according to the Prime Minister, no such decisions were made.
Has caused Bahamians to believe that the government has taken some decision to increase water prices. That is absolutely not true. There's no intention of government to raise water rates at any time, nor will it be taxing wells. In fact, the recommendations have been made many, many years for the taxing of wells dating back to the pending administration and increasing of water rate dating back to the pending administration. We do not intend to do either tax wells or raise water rate.
Well, there you have it. According to the newspaper article, it was the Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for water and sewage, that's the Honorable Leon Lundy, who disclosed that proposals are part of the ongoing discussions, but clarified that these recommendations are still in the preliminary phases and have not yet been finalized. Now, when we did reach out to Minister Lundy, he opted not to speak.
Well, Devontae, I think at this point, aside from the price increase, the other big question is what else, what other further details was in that plan?
Well, we understand that that plan also includes suggestions for increasing taxes on desalination plants and equipment for private wells, but these proposals, like the water rate hikes, are subject to cabinet approval for further review. And of course, the Prime Minister's statement puts it to rest growing fears, those growing fears, that is, of impending price hikes, emphasizing that no formal decision has been made and the government remains committed to affordable water access.
Well, thanks, Devontae. As you just heard, you could rest easy about a price increase in water fees. Meantime, remember Beryl? Well, not so long ago, she exploded in the Atlantic, becoming not just the first hurricane of the 2024 season, but the earliest Category 5 storm on record to ever form. Fast forward a bit, and July 22nd marked the hottest day recorded. Well, just today, U.S. weather forecasters warned of an extended summer in autumn. What's behind it all? No brain teaser there. The global phenomenon, climate change. Now, tackling the issue at the Concordia Annual Summit in New York today, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis sought to again drive home the urgency of shifting from words to tangible solutions and bold investments, about having the courage to break free from outdated systems and practices. And he reasons that for that to happen, there must be a steadfast commitment to collaborate. After all, the cost of inaction is great.
We, as leaders, must acknowledge that this is not a burden to be shared, but an opportunity to be seized, to build more resilient infrastructure, to create a cleaner and more efficient energy systems, and to foster innovation that drives economic growth. In the Bahamas, we are not sitting back and waiting. We are charting our own course, leading from the front lines of climate change with a blueprint for a more sustainable future.
Minister, whose comments come on the heels of his address to Climate Week in New York City, acknowledged, though, that despite celebrations and challenges, case in point, competition from an international order, increasing temperatures leading to drought, the Bahamas perseveres in mitigating a crisis it did not cause. The hope is that others follow.
To the captains of industry, let us move beyond pledges and invest in real, tangible solutions. Direct your capital towards renewable energy, sustainable infrastructure, and climate-resilient technologies. Support the innovators in climate-vulnerable countries. Partner with us to scale up the solutions that are already working. To policymakers, let us enact bold, transformative policies that accelerate the transition to a low-carbon, climate-resilient future. End fossil fuel subsidies, implement carbon pricing mechanisms, invest in nature-based solutions, and ensure that climate action is integrated into every aspect of policymaking. To the innovators, the disruptors, the change makers, let us place climate action at the heart of our technological advancements. Let us seize this opportunity, not with apprehension, but with a renewed sense of purpose.
Well, from New York, we head back home with a stop in Exuma, an island not being left out of the billions of dollars in investments. And this in the face of the tourism minister revealing that more developments are on tap for the country's fastest growing economies. Devontae Hanna explains.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Investments, the Honorable Chester Cooper, touting new life into the Exuma economy.
We've signed about $1.5 billion of new deals for the island of Exuma. We expect Sandals to come back as breezes. That's $100 million. We anticipate great developments at Rosewood.
It adds to the $10 billion in investments received over the last 3 years, hailing a sign that the Bahamas is open for business, according to Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis.
As we continue to attract the world to our shores, we must open doors for Bahamian leadership at the highest levels. We need to guarantee that Bahamians are fully unhindered in their involvement, strengthening the future of tourism.
This as the Deputy Prime Minister revealed the New Day administration's investment plans will be spread across the country, with new heads of agreements on tap for projects in the capital.
What this means is there will be more jobs, more entrepreneurial opportunities, more work for construction persons, heavy equipment, people selling food.
Albeit this administration has struggled with the sale of the Grand Lucayan and the redevelopment of the Grand Bahama Airport. He says work is still underway to bolster the northern island.
Grand Bahama is still the fastest growing island for air arrivals. And we expect that to continue into the future. It's growing. We need more entrepreneurs to really get engaged and get involved. The Grand Lucayan will help, the airport will help, but we're not sitting and waiting.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
Well, coming up, Caribbean officials gather to combat firearms trafficking. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Stay with us.
Things that are undeniably Bahamian. A good count salad, Junkanoo, the way we worship, the way we take care of one another, all undeniably Bahamian. And right in the midst of our iconic things, places, and people is Commonwealth Bank. Increasing access, sponsoring dreams, working alongside Bahamians to increase the quality of their lives for more than 60 years. Commonwealth Bank, nothing more than being Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Experience the difference with BTC's fixed services. Whether you're working from home or enjoying family time, BTC ensures you're always in touch with the people and moments that count. BTC isn't just a service, it's a lifestyle. Stay connected, stay inspired, and live your best life. BTC.
Stop whatever you're doing and head to your favorite KFC. KFC is taking value to a newer, crunchier level with our new snack box, packed with one piece of juicy fried chicken, crispy fries, and a buttery biscuit, all for just $5.35. When you snack, you deserve to snack responsibly with the new delicious KFC snack box. Order your new favorite deal online with Messenger or WhatsApp Hi to 557-3663 to start your KFC order today. KFC knows value and is finger-licking good.
From paradise to paradise, Bahamas Air invites you to embark on a seamless island journey from the sun-kissed coast of Nassau, the Bahamas, to the rhythmic shores of Montego Bay, Jamaica. Soar high above a turquoise tapestry on the most trusted airline in the Caribbean. Our inaugural flight takes wing on November 17th, 2024. Don't delay. Book your idyllic escape today.
The news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
You're looking at a live shot of Fort Montague just off East Bay Street. Well, welcome back. For whatever reason, by whatever means, a troubling number of people set out to end their lives, with local officials now pinning down that number of attempted suicides to as many as 400 each year. In this report, a leading psychiatrist sounds the alarm on the distressing trend.
We have noticed an uptick in suicide since the pandemic, and that's something that generally happens when a worldwide tragedy happens. It affects persons in the years to come. And we've seen that a lot of kids have been affected for many different reasons.
Recent incidents have brought heart-wrenching examples of this troubling trend. The attempted suicide of a 14-year-old girl last week Sunday, and a 24-year-old woman who attempted to jump from the Sydney Poitiers Bridge. Dr. Devon Roll believes young people are more vulnerable to this issue and are most impacted.
So it's actually both genders, male and female. Generally with the kids, it's around the teenage years, starting around maybe age 12 to 13, 14 are the typical ages that we see.
Attempted suicide is not an issue reserved for those abroad. The psychiatrist says it is in our homes, our conversations, and the people we love, impacting young and old. Understanding the warning signs is imperative, and getting help is key.
It can be kids or adults who are using more substances like cigarettes, marijuana, cocaine, alcohol especially. Persons who are doing more risky activities, you notice that they may be sneaking out, that they may be doing things that may harm them and not really paying much concern or care towards it. It can also be things like persons who are just staying in bed, don't want to get up, persons who are a little bit more irritable, and that happens a lot in teenagers. In adults, more argumentative, not getting along with other persons like they used to.
The Bahamas Crisis Center is open to help women, men, and children who are facing domestic violence, abuse, or any crisis situation. The hotline is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The Sandlands Community Counseling and Assessment Center on Collins Avenue is also available for those needing assistance. Desmond Saunders, The Bahamas Tonight.
Well, reducing the proliferation of firearms and ammunition at the fore of a 3-day interinstitutional roundtable meeting today. Together with regional and international partners, local stakeholders are exploring sustainable solutions meant to control, eradicate, prevent, and prosecute the illegal possession and trafficking of these weapons. Corval Pyfrom picks up the story from here.
Even though the Bahamas doesn't manufacture firearms, its use as the weapon of choice in homicides, armed robberies, youth violence, and other crimes against the person is alarming. Today, a 3-day interinstitutional roundtable meeting for the Caribbean Firearms Roadmap getting underway. The event, a significant milestone for the Bahamas as it advances national efforts to reduce the illicit proliferation of firearms and ammunition in a sustainable manner.
The issues surrounding firearms in the region transcends borders, thereby requiring national, regional, and international partnership.
National Security Minister Wayne Munro addressing the gathering of national stakeholders from law enforcement, judiciary, the Attorney General's office, foreign affairs, as well as regional and international partners.
The strength of our partnership lies not only in our shared commitment, but also in the coordination and integration of our assets, expertise, good governance, and our resolve to protect our citizens and secure our region.
These roundtable meetings also supported by the United Nations and the U.S. Embassy.
The success of the roadmap hinges on the concerted efforts of the Caribbean authorities and the timely, targeted, and coordinated support of partners and donors.
The United States shares the Caribbean's deep concerns about firearms trafficking negatively impacting their communities and recognizes the urgent need to address this issue collaboratively.
The ultimate goal is for the Bahamas to develop its national action plan within the context of the Caribbean Firearms Roadmap. Minister Monroe pledged the country's commitment to that end and said the work to get it done should be completed by November so that the Bahamas can join the other CARICOM member states. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pfeiffer.
Well, thanks, Corvell. Health and safety concerns on the campus of CV Bethel Senior High. Just last week, teachers at that Southern New Providence school submitted a list of concerns and grievances to the school's principal, but were not satisfied with the no response they received. Here is Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson with a breakdown of the pressing issues.
Hot classrooms, overcrowded classrooms, restrooms that are inoperable for the boys and girls, for the students, termite infestation, also an odor which emanates from decayed rodents. So the teachers today at CV Bethel held a meeting because the principal never responded in a timely manner to the concerns that were given to her in writing. So they invoked their right not to work in an unhealthy and unsafe environment.
Now, ZNS News reached out to the Director of Education, Dominique McCartney-Russell, who's fully aware of the issues and is now making every effort to get to the bottom of them.
Aware of the concerns, we sent a team there on the weekend to address the matters. We were advised, for example, that there was a plumbing and there was some electrical concerns in 2 of the rooms. That was addressed. We were also advised that there was a rat infestation in one of the blocks, and so we would have sent an exterminator. We called them in to deal with that. We were also advised that there were some AC units that either were not serviced or needed cleaning, and some were not working. We would have addressed those. We were also advised that some of the window operators were not functioning, and so we addressed those as well. We were also able to address the need to fix a door in the security booth, the need for the contractors to put back furniture that they would have moved. They were heavy cupboards and furniture, and they were not put back. And so we asked the contractors to address those, and those would have been addressed. And whatever matters are still outstanding, we are assiduously seeking to resolve those.
I'll stay with us on The Beat is after the break.
A decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
Have you been waiting for windows? Then wait no more. Cornets Bahamas have in stock now PVC sliding windows, casement windows, and impact sliding windows with mirror tinted glass, all in different sizes and styles. Call us at 352-1301 or visit any of our 4 locations in Freeport, Nassau, Abaco, and Eleuthera for the great products and great prices. Open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturdays. Cornets Bahamas, dream, design, deliver.
People are going crazy for Popeyes around the world. Some have camped out for hours just to try our delicious chicken. This guy stocked up on 300 crunchy, juicy chicken sandwiches, just in case. And these lovebirds celebrated their wedding with the Popeyes cake. For real. We get it, y'all chicken lovers. Because we're just as crazy to marinate our chicken for 12 hours and make every piece by hand. That crazy love, we love.
Love that chicken from Popeyes. Are you or a loved one under medical care?
Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code. Select your payment amount and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Focal Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Well, last week, our Danielle Dean worked up a sweat at the gym where she heard that exercise and healthy eating make the perfect pair. For Health Matters tonight, she visits a local restaurant where the specialty is organic, natural foods. Danielle?
The Bahamas has long struggled with the troubling rate of non-communicable diseases, diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, and the like, fueled largely by the traditional diet of high carbs and starches. But New Life Natural Company's nutrient-packed menu options prove that enjoyment of food is not exclusive to those that are unhealthy. Using mushroom instead of beef on spelt buns could be a good place to start.
When I bite into this, what can I expect to taste? Should it be spicy?
No, not too spicy, but magical.
Magical? Okay,
very healthy.
I'll be the judge. Cook Julia Clark says the next dish helps counteract high cholesterol and promotes heart health.
We just came from over there with Mr. Ricketts and he gave us the delicious mushroom burger on spelt bun.
Yes, spelt
So
bun.
what do we have here?
We have here a Junkanoo quinoa. Now, the Junkanoo quinoa is a little bit different from your regular quinoa dish. This one we add raisins, almonds, and the raisins give it a slightly little sweet taste, so it's a balance with the sweet and the savory.
So I told you I don't like raisins, but
I know,
this
but
has to be really
just
good.
try a little bit. And in this one, we added 2 mushroom balls because what we actually do is we put a secret ingredient in it. So
what's the secret ingredient?
I'll take you off camera. But yeah, everything is made, cooked to order, everything is handmade. So nothing out the can, nothing bottled, just everything fresh ingredients.
Ice cream lovers like me might even consider switching it up with an almond shake. The same sweet taste, but with much more wholesome ingredients.
With Health Matters for the Bahamas tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Well, thanks, Danielle. Now, LaDawn and Marcellus joins us live to give us a sneak peek of our new show, Access Now. Guys?
Because, let me tell you, I saw that they had some good food, some good vibes at Paradise Plates. Marcellus, I know we have a heart doctor in the house who's going to tell us what not to eat. And I know your workouts every day are going to help us to protect our heart. Correct?
Hey, I'm good for that. All right, sounds interesting. I can't wait to find out about this.
Well, you're watching The National Report. Stay with us.
What are we gonna do? We forgot your daddy's birthday. He's in Eleuthera and we're all the way in Nassau. You got it? Okay. Yes, you're right. Eleuthera for tomorrow? No problem.
Do you know a fisher who braves the seas every day, bringing home a catch that feeds our communities? Nominate them now for the Anchor Awards, a night dedicated to celebrating the unsung heroes of our waters. On November 16th at the Bahama Resort, we're shining a spotlight on those who make waves, both big and small. Visit the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources Facebook page and click on the link provided to submit your nomination. Let's give our fishers the recognition they deserve. Anchor Awards 2024.
With BGC's crystal clear mobile service, stay connected seamlessly, whether on land or at sea. Our reliable postpaid plans keep your loved ones closer, no matter where life takes you.
I got the job! Wait, banking details? I need an account. In just 3 steps? All right, so get online. Pick an account. Fill out the form and upload your documents. Wow, that was easy. Scotiabank, when it's this easy to open an account, it's always a celebration.
And that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
Come celebrate the Pay Fast, Live Digital campaign. Get ready to learn all about digital payments and embrace the future of finance. Ditch the old and say hello to new, faster and safer ways to pay. So join us, check in with your personal bank, credit union, or digital wallet provider to learn everything you need to know about going digital. To learn more, visit us online at livedigitalbahamas.com and on social media. The future of pay is digital.
We at Candid Security offer a varied range of security services, including guard service. We do armored service. We do pre-employment investigation, background checks, also vet people for employment. A live business posted PBX is extremely important to our operation. I don't have to be in my office. I can easily get connected with our clients, my vendors, my NASA office, and with our employees in the field, anytime, anywhere.
The construction of the first Polytechnic Institute in the Bahamas is underway.
The construction of the first ever technical and vocational polytechnic for senior high students is underway. This facility, situate on approximately 6 acres, will be the training ground for students in a cross-section of technical skills, including technical drawing, electronics, agricultural science, computer science, pre-engineering, auto mechanics, graphical communications, electrical technology, air conditioning and refrigeration, plumbing, food production and preservation, welding and carpentry, and maritime STCW training. Students will be able to gain accredited certifications for immediate access to the job market with recognized levels of competency. On graduation, job ready. We expect that the first cohort of students will enroll in September 2025.
Bahamas, are you ready? Keep the vibe alive. Music group, along with our for sales, present the best of the best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded. This is the biggest one-day all-Bahamian concert of the year. Featuring KB, D-Mac, Abby, Mama D, Fan Shaw, Shine 242, The Falcon, and more. Mark your calendars. It's going down November the 2nd at Super Club Races Ground. Tickets now available at BahamasEtickets.com or both Beauty Shack locations. General admission $60. VIP, Skybox, and Skypods also available. For more info, call 394-0819 or email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Experience the magic once again with more legends for one night only. Come party with us November 2nd at Best of the Best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
The Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, in partnership with the University of Miami, granted one lucky Canes fan a once-in-a-lifetime lifetime getaway to the islands of the Bahamas. Deputy Prime Minister Theon Blychester Cooper highlights why this partnership with the university is important to the islands of the Bahamas.
So this is a great partnership that we have with UM. We want to solidify our reach in the Florida market. UM has a strong base in the Bahamas of students and former students, and we are looking to really expand what we do in Florida in terms of this being one of our main source markets. So this is the second of 3 years with this agreement, and we are looking forward today really to rolling out some exciting initiatives to get more heads and beds in Bahamas. Today, you know, of course, we have the world-famous Junkanoo that's on display here today, and we have an opportunity really to gather information about future visitors, etc. There's an opportunity for us to share our QR codes and showcase some of the islands of the Bahamas. So we're doing creative things really to get the attention of future visitors to the Bahamas. So we're giving away a weekend for what we call Canes Weekend at Atlantis in the Bahamas, November 8 to 11. And this is going to be where there's going to be a watch party. I believe the Canes are playing Georgia Tech, and this is going to be an exciting game. People can come down for the weekend. As a result of doing this, we give a good boost to the islands of the Bahamas. People come to watch their hurricanes and enjoy the islands of the Bahamas, Nassau Paradise Island in particular, once the game is done.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Joshua Robbins, and this is Tourism Today.
At the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium, I'm Marcellus Hall. This is ZNS. Yep. A nationalist says more needs to be done to preserve the country's landmarks and historical spaces. Details straight ahead.
The JCMP chief says Junkanoo has outgrown Bay Street and seating fans has become a challenge. Should they move the parade?
And Inagua gets set to hold its local government elections. Just who has put their hat in the race? Stay close to find out.
And in sports, New Providence Softball Association championships continue.
The Bahamas Tonight Access Now starts now.
Good evening, I'm Marcellus Hall.
And I'm LaDawn Davis, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Well, the start of a new week, and the new week number 2 here on Access Now. You look fantastic, of course, to LaDawn.
And you, as always, you look debonair this evening. Tell everybody what we got up in store.
Well, coming up now, it's no secret that on the catwalk, my new clothing sponsors, so look for some fabulous things to come. Wow, okay, I'm looking forward to that as well. Great, and that is indeed fabulous. And I tell you what, let's get right into the news tonight. A leading Bahamian nationalist calling on the relevant authorities to do more to preserve and sustain some of the country's landmarks and historical spaces. Rosemary Clarice Hanna says the recent collapse of the historic Reinhardt Hotel last week serves as a wake-up call to all Bahamians to secure our cultural heritage.
We really need to document and wherever possible try to preserve our old buildings and our historical heritage, you know. People have to take more pride in what they have, and I don't think we appreciate enough of our own history, and we just let things go. And I think that's very sad, you know. Mm-hmm. And one of my really pet peeves, too, is the way that people have all these old cars and things, junk cars all over the place, and we don't have enough personal pride. We've lost a lot of that.
Well, the historic Reinhardt Hotel just off Meadow Street was designed and constructed by Dr. Claudius Roland Walker and Mabel Walker in the 1930s. Perhaps the paramount years in the hotel's history was 1967. That's when the space served as headquarters to the Progressive Liberal Party during the landmark 1967 elections that led to majority rule. Also, at the time of the hotel's construction, black visitors were prohibited from residing in major hotels owing to their race. The Reinhardt Hotel helped to answer the community need and went on to become a prominent social fixture in the Bahamian community.
Since I was a child, my father, Percy Hanna, and Dr. Walker, they were
Baintown boys. They both were born and grew up in Baintown. And I remember when the Renard was being built, actually. My first real memory of that was going to wedding receptions. You know, in those days, back then, when black visitors came to the Bahamas, they could not live in the regular hotels. That was the reason why Dr. Walker built the Reinhardt Hotel. It was a very popular place, very, very popular. And I think you may see from some of the old pictures that they used to have wedding receptions and other events there. It was a lovely place.
With preparations in high gear for the upcoming Boxing and New Year's Day Junkanoo parades, Junkanoo officials are now mapping out plans to meet seating demands. Chairman of the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence, Dion Miller, says the major festival has now outgrown its current Bay Street venue.
The sad reality is that Junkanoo have outgrown the venue in that Bay Street, and is that there's no place that we could possibly add more seats to the venue without disrupting the experience for those persons who traditionally stand on Bay Street. And so that's a greater question for a more appropriate forum. But the venue is the venue.
Well, the 3-year term for local government council members sworn on 2022 is about to expire. And while preparations for new elections are underway, those groups outstanding are highlighting their accomplishments to the various communities served. Carla Palmer reports on the work of council members in Inagua.
Currently uncertain whether he would offer for re-election as chief counselor for Inagua, Kennard Roll, however, is satisfied that he has served with purpose.
All groups have their ups and downs or whatever, but at the end of the day, we came together for one common goal, and it was to make a greater Inagua. And so I feel accomplished that in our tenure, we were able to do exactly what we were set out to do.
The overall objective for Roll and his 5-member team was ensuring all public spaces were improved. Council member Flavio Cox had responsibility for the ports, ensuring safety and security measures were in place.
We looked at putting like flotation device if someone should fall overboard, so we had that put in, and extra seating down at the marina, and we also painted the building. Then the next area was the airport. One of the cabanas was, damaged by a small fire. So we had some repairs done to that cabana, and we also painted it.
Councilwoman Leona Burnside was also pleased she could have contributed to improving her community.
I was in charge of road, so because of where I live and I have to come out more into the community area, I always make sure my roads were clean.
The next local government elections are expected to be called no earlier than November and no later than January of 2025. In Matthewtown, Inagua, for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
A local charity putting on yet another elaborate event to raise funds for a worthy cause, eradicating hunger. Danielle Dean takes us on the journey of Paradise Plates.
Come with me to Paradise as I join 2,000 plus others at Hands for Hunger's biggest fundraiser of the year. Mesmerizing decor, live music, dancing, delectable bites, and even live painting all made this year's Paradise Plates everything Executive Director Keisha Ellis imagined it would be.
To everyone who bought a ticket, who sponsored a booth, who donated to the cause is a huge thank you. Without Paradise Plates, Hands for Hunger would not be able to continue all of our programming, and every dollar raised tonight goes directly into our feeding programs. So all I can say is thank you to everyone who supported.
Cedric Moss, sous chef at Bahamas Filia, presented his dishes.
We have some meatballs right here, and we have some rigatoni bolognese. Very, very nice pastas.
What made you decide to present these of all things? I know that there are so many other vendors out here, so why is this your specialty tonight?
Well, this is an Italian restaurant, and because it's an Italian restaurant, we want to show you how some pastas and meatball with flavor, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is the best pasta you could ever get. The rigatoni bolognese, very nice.
Okay, so will I get a chance to taste it tonight?
Of course you're going to get a chance to taste it, of course, of course.
All right, thank you. For those staying away from carbs, something different.
Hi, my name is Alec Darville. This is Me and Bees. So we're doing everything vegan, vegetarian today. These right here are the chia pudding. Basically all it is chia seeds, berry compote, granolas, and fresh berries with mint. Also, these are the harvest bowls, which is quinoa, sweet potato, arugula, roasted red peppers, pickled onions, and pork on the top of it.
According to Hands for Hunger Board Director Eldira Backford, the fundraiser has only grown in popularity since its 2009 debut. Would you say that this is the most well-supported Paradise Plates that there ever was?
Well, yes, I can proudly say that. I am very happy to know that I'm a part of this event.
Ellis says, using the things that didn't go as planned during this year's fundraiser as a catalyst, the charity has already begun planning Paradise Plate 2025. Reporting for the Bahamas tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Good job there, Danielle. We have cardiovascular surgeon Dr. Dwayne Sands waiting in the wings as our live segment is coming up on heart health, so keep it locked.
Do you know a fisher who braves the seas every day, bringing home a catch that feeds our communities? Nominate them now for the Anchor Awards, a night dedicated to celebrating the unsung heroes of our waters. On November 16th at the Bahama Resort, we're shining a spotlight on those who make waves, both big and small. Visit the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources Facebook page and click on the link provided to submit your nomination. Let's give our fishers the recognition they deserve. Anchor Awards 2024.
At Koshright, our members know that there's a lot to smile about. They know that membership has its privileges. Guaranteed low pricing on every item, every time you shop. Each membership comes with 2 cards. That's one for you and a free card for a member of your household. Gold card holders earn an annual 2% rebate up to $500. Koshright members get discounts at other participating businesses. So that's a lot to smile about. Whether it be clothing, appliances, home goods, or groceries, shop at Koshright, where membership truly has its privileges.
Hey, Mom, can you look after Kaylee?
Sorry, I'll be out for a while doing my home and car insurance.
What? You know there's a newer way, right?
A new way?
Where have you been? Look, go to newerinsurance.com, log in, get your quote, buy your insurance, done. You can even use it to manage a claim.
Oh? By the way, it's not newer. It's N-U-A. Where's she been?
Do it anyway with NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers.
Watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel up with confidence in every mile. Get Ruby Surge Tech in your tank and drive with a smile. Watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel the difference with Ruby's Ultra Tech.
Last week, the local flats fishing industry was given a shot in the arm with a pledge of support and promise of at least $200,000 in financial assistance from the government. It's an industry that is doing big business, but as Corval Python reports, it has begun doing so while largely flying under the radar.
First, a crash course on what is flats fishing from Agriculture Minister Jomo Campbell.
It's a process where we take tourists come and go out in the clear blue waters and they practice what is known as catch and release. Some of the most popular fish that are involved in flat fishing are the bonefish. And if you don't know about flat fishing, I'm sure you recognize the name bonefish foley.
This sort of sports fishing attracts thousands here to the Bahamas annually, with foreign-owned local lodges across many islands proven hotspots for these enthusiasts. The concern for lifelong industry expert Prescott Smith and many others is that the industry not be overrun by outsiders.
It's a serious profession, and like any profession, it has to be supported with the right policies, the various concessions that they need, so that the guides would have the very best tools, and even the Bahamians and the lodges, that they they need so that you run world-class operations from top to bottom.
At a recent gathering of local industry stakeholders, Prime Minister Philip Davis pledging to the guides his administration's support. He's also calling on them to do their part to help preserve the industry.
Stay the course. Continue to inspire those around you to safeguard our natural resources and to champion sustainability in their personal and professional lives.
The government's support has given Smith renewed hope.
You think of 85% of our country being the marine environment. It is much more beyond the lodge and the guides, but the guides are the foundation of it. And so if we give them the tools that they need to do the very best job, it means that the whole country has a better reputation as a result of that.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pfeiffer.
And no, it's not Heart Month or Valentine's Day, but tonight we continue to heighten the awareness about the most vital organ in the body, the heart, and how to keep it healthy and happy.
Well, joining us live to tell us how to do just that is the country's leading cardiovascular surgeon, Dr. Dwayne Sands. Dr. Sands, welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here.
And so, Dr. Sands, first question is, first of all, what does a cardiovascular surgeon do? And at what point should a person consult one in terms of symptoms, things along those lines?
Well, unfortunately, I try to fix things that have gone horribly wrong. In the Bahamas, we have the saying, if you like it, let it kill you, right? And so we start doing that from very early on, eating the wrong stuff, not exercising, having some bad habits, drinking too much, smoking too much in some instances. And we destroy this wonderful body that was given to us so that we are the fourth heaviest or most obese people in the world. We die almost, our #1 cause of death is heart disease. And so what I try to do surgically is to fix the problems that have been created.
So what can we actually do to keep our hearts healthy? And is heart disease or heart failure hereditary in the Bahamas?
Well, there is a hereditary component, but a lot of it is the choices that we make or choose not to make. And diet, unfortunately, is a massive part of the problem. And in the Bahamas, we love to eat, and we like to eat the wrong things. And then we have a peculiar cultural view about how big is too big and how big isn't big enough. I got myself in trouble a little while ago, but you know, if you look at the international statistics that say the heaviest people in the world, the Bahamas is #4, that'll give you an idea.
Yeah. I guess one of the things people always wonder, is it something that more men are inclined to have heart issues or women? And I notice now a lot of young people seem to be affected by heart attacks as well, or heart issues.
Actually, it's about equal. Men, they say that men historically are diagnosed more often and that women have their symptoms dismissed often. Today, we were scheduled to do an open heart on a woman. That was postponed for reasons that I won't go into. Right. But we operate and do procedures on men and women. And the recent challenge that the former Prime Minister had with heart disease gives an idea that it can happen at an early age or as you get into the more mature years of life.
Now, we keep hearing about a craze, I guess, for weight loss. There's a new drug in town that, I guess, assists with your heart. Tell us about that. Yes.
This thing called Ozempic.
Yes. Yeah.
So it actually is a GLP analog or glucagon-like peptide analog that helps your brain and your pancreas and your gut to work differently. And it turns out that after many, many millions of people have been treated with this drug, that is actually a lifesaver and a game changer. And so the obesity epidemic that has taken over the new world, drugs like this, and Ozempic, Wegovy are only examples of drugs like this, have been shown to reduce mortality from strokes, heart attacks, reduce the likelihood that somebody with diabetes or overweight or hypertension will go on to dialysis. And it doesn't have, after many, 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 many millions of prescriptions, the safety signals that a lot of the other weight loss drugs had. And so it is fast on the way to becoming the most popular prescription drug in the world, with about, I think they're up to $40 billion a year revenue. That is not the biggest selling drug per year, but it's getting there.
Wow.
And how many Bahamians are on the drug now?
More than you think.
Wow.
So there are a number of people who have recognized that they've tried the cabbage soup diet, they tried the wax paper diet, they tried every diet that there is, couldn't lose weight. Because losing weight is a very difficult thing to do because it's more than just willpower. A drug that helps your body, your brain, your stomach, your pancreas, your intestine to change behavior, reduce your cravings, etc. So people after a year can expect to lose as much as 15 or 20% of their body weight. And that for a lot of people can mean getting off their diabetes medicine, some people getting off their high blood pressure medicine, and for many people getting their life back.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to make it seem as if it's all about these types of drugs. It's about discipline, it's about understanding that the choices that we make have to be different. And we choose, you know, 3 meats, macaroni, potato salad, cake, ice cream, duff in one meal, eh? And, you know, you send a fella back home to his ma and he don't have a corporation, then obviously his wife ain't taking care of him, right? We like to see little children with 3 and 4 chins, right? Otherwise, mommy, you ain't feeding that child enough. And so culturally, we have this concept about you gotta be healthy, and healthy is...
Healthy means robust.
Solid, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna get into the discussion about what is aesthetically pleasing. The question is whether that translates into an increased risk of heart disease, kidney failure, dialysis, stroke, and cancer. And the answer is it does.
Yeah.
And it is crippling our healthcare system.
Wow. Very good information.
All right,
Dr. Sands, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. I hope you all were listening and taking some great notes because a lot is going to be coming your way in regards to this, and we certainly want everybody to be as healthy as possible. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sands. Marcellus, what's coming up in sports?
Well, coming up in sports for tonight, the New Providence Softball Association into its championship series. Some good things happening there. We'll tell you all the details just ahead.
The most important thing in life is family, and whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
For hurricane season, we got impact windows and doors. For protection, just come to our store. Plus we got tiles to pretty up your walls and your floors. We'll help you brighten up for that big bad storm. Porcelain tiles, blank tiles, mosaic tiles, a variety of styles. Before teens get right, they gotta be rough. That's why we got the best deals in the whole Bahamas. Hey, hey.
Your center for savings this September? It can only be Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Best Value Whole Kernel Corn, 15 ounce, 99 cents. Cardinal Evaporated Milk, 14 ounce, 119. Pretty Lady Seedless Grapes, $3.99 per pound. Panama Raw Shrimp, $31.40, 1 pound, $5.99. Baby Back Ribs, $3.39 per pound. Remember to save this September at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Busy weekend for sports here in the capital, starting with local baseball players, the young ones getting themselves a pretty big treat as they had a major baseball camp that took place at the Andre Rogers Baseball Diamond. They got a visit from a baseball legend. Amajal Knowles has the story.
He's arguably one of the greatest baseball players to ever have put on a uniform, and over the weekend, he also helped put some smiles on the faces of some of our best young baseball players. Yankees legend Derek Jeter making a surprise appearance on Saturday at the Game Changers baseball camp being held at the Andre Rogers National Baseball Stadium. Captain Clutch speaking about being back in the 242 and also about giving back.
We couldn't be more thankful and happy to be partnering with Bahama and coming out here. Everyone that comes out here, they want to have fun, obviously, because it's a golf tournament, but I think even more importantly, they want to support our foundation and our foundation's initiatives in the West Michigan area, New York area, and down in Florida. And then we're also giving back down here in the Bahamas because, you know, we're coming down here. This is one of our biggest fundraisers, and it's very important for us to give back down here as well.
To the camp itself, Director Trey Sweeting says it was designed to help further push the development of some of the country's upcoming baseball prospects, as well as get them prepared for upcoming local and international tournaments.
So today was a pretty exciting day. We had a 2-day camp. The first day we started off with some drill work for the kids. Like we did home run derby. We got who were the fastest kids in the 30-yard dash. And then we also had a little game, baseball, who could turn the quickest too. So all in all, what we had out here today was just a chance to get ready for this upcoming year for our national team players and our young Bahamian players to come out and have a chance to shine and show what they got and make sure that we're ready for this year as the Bahamas baseball is on the up and as we continue to ride that trend.
And these eager youngsters spoke about their experience.
It was amazing. I had a great time. It was great to be able to fellowship with my friends. It's always a team effort to be able to win, so yeah.
It was good, and I've been working hard with my coach, Coach Trey, and my dad in the backyard.
It was a great experience. It was a fun time. Met new people, had a good time. Good coaches, met Derek Jeter, Tony Miranda. It was a good time.
Now, of course, as for Mr. Jeter, he was in town for his annual golf tournament and gala event that was held this weekend at the Bahama Resort. Jeter's Turn 2 Foundation, of course, making a $50,000 donation to the Bahama Foundation. For ZNS Sports, I'm Amajal Knowles.
All right, thanks, Amo. Moving on to some news now from softball as New Providence Softball Association Championships. They continued Saturday night over at the Bankers Playing Field. On the ladies' side, the Wildcats are now up 2-0, taking care of business against the R&B Operators. 15-7 ends up being your final score. Thela Stevens was your winning pitcher in the contest as she took care of business against Brandisha Ferguson, who took the loss. That means now the Wildcats now in full command of that series. On the men's side, Chances Mighty Mitts going up against the Cybertech Blue Marlins. Blue Marlins now up 2-0 there as well. They win 4-2 behind the great pitching performance from Thomas Davis. He got the job done. Meanwhile, Alcott Force once again saddled with a loss. Both series will continue. They come your way on Tuesday night at the Bankers Field. Shifting over to some basketball news as the Jonquel Jones and the New York Liberty kicking off their playoff series. Game 1 of WNBA first round best-of-3 playoff series with the Atlanta Dream. And this one going all the way to the New York Liberty. They win this one kind of easily. 83-69 has been your final score. Jones, a pretty modest night for her. 9 points, 7 rebounds. Liberty, they will go for the sweep at home. That will come your way on Tuesday night when that series continues there. And that's it. Your look at sports for you on this Monday. Of course, our Monday weather forecast is just ahead. Stay with us.
The school year is still fresh, and administrators and teachers say their targets are set.
Our theme is charting the course to academic excellence. So I expect what I expect every year. I expect our students to be successful and to succeed academically. In terms of success, we were very successful last school year. In terms of BGCSE, A to D passes, was 71%. So I could truly say that students who would have taken the BGCSE exam at Anatole Rogers, 7 out of 10 received a A to D grade.
My overall goal is to improve the literacy and numeracy of our children. Last year we saw great increases. We surpassed our goals for our week, and we anticipate doing it again.
And my goals this year is for my students to increase in their performance, written, and maths. That's the main thing, because once they get that, anything is possible.
This school year, we're going to be moving in leaps and bounds. We have so many things that we want to accomplish. We want our students to do better academically. We've already started on that process. We want to get more certifications in the hospitality and technical areas and cosmetology. So we're looking to get more certifications. We want to get our students equipped for the world of work and academics.
And some words of advice from one parent to another.
We gotta be present in this life, and in order for him to grow, to learn, he could learn from your mistakes instead of making his own mistakes, you know. Just all the old teachings.
With that said, I'm Adama Williams for Ed Talk.
It's time now for our Access Weather Forecast, our live weather radar showing some showers across our western Grand Bahama into South Abaco. There's another pocket down in the southeast around Crooked Island and Acklands, and that's also firing up pockets of thunderstorms as well. Outside of our studios, partly cloudy, 82 degrees, relative humidity 70%. We have east-northeast winds at 4 miles per hour, barometric pressure 1,012.3 millibars, that's 29.89 inches. And your temperatures around the outlets this evening, 81 degrees in Marsh, Abaco, Greentown, Key, and Freeport at 80 degrees. The Berry Islands 85, Alderstown, Bimini 86, Harbour Island 85, 82 degrees in Roxanne, Lutra, Alderstown, Cut Island 83, Black Point, Exuma, Kemp Space, Los Andros at 85, Fresh Creek, Central Andros 84, picking up some 83s in San Salvador and Rum Key, Georgetown, Exuma 85, Ragged Island, Cowanstown, Long Island, and Crooked Island at 84, 83 degrees over in Betsy Bay, Maguana, and Acklands, Matchetown, Inagua 84, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 86 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Live Business, where you're always protected during the worst storms. In the northwestern islands, tonight through Tuesday, easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, wave heights at 2 to 4 feet. Low tide 7:23 this evening. Second low tide is 7:21 tomorrow morning. And for the southeast Bahamas through Tuesday, east to southeast winds 10 to 50 knots. The wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Middle of the week on Wednesday, those winds become southeast, increasing 15 to 20 knots in the northwest Bahamas. Caution flags goes up. Wave heights 4 to 6 feet. Low tide at 8:27 in the morning, with a high tide at 3:01 in the afternoon. And for the central and southeastern islands on Wednesday, winds east to southeast also increasing 12 to 18 knots. Wave heights 3 to 6 feet with caution flags in place. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But getting you right into the tropics, we have that area of disturbed weather in the northwestern Caribbean Sea that now has a 90% chance of development. We expect it to become a tropical depression, perhaps tonight, a tropical storm tomorrow, and a hurricane by Wednesday, and that will take it into the Gulf of Mexico and towards the Florida Panhandle. And over in the far eastern Atlantic, another area with a 20 to 70% chance in the long term of development. This one is very far away, but we'll keep you posted on its progress. Satellite pictures showing showers and thunderstorms associated with potential tropical cyclone number 9, and that is moving towards the north-northwest at about 7 miles per hour. Forecast for tonight, partly cloudy, very warm with a thunderstorm in spots, 81 degrees for your low temperature. And tomorrow it's going to be partly sunny, very hot, 90 degrees, your high temperature. And extended weather forecast looking like this. We're going to have beautiful weather right into the middle of the weekend. By afternoon, we'll see some showers working their way into the forecast on Thursday, off and on. But as that system moves into the Gulf of Mexico, we'll see some showers and thunderstorms on Saturday and Sunday.
right, thanks, Basil. Well, looks like there's something brewing out there. Hopefully not.
Let it stay out there and not come to the Bahamas. But just before we go, I'd like to send out a very special thank you to my new sponsor, Catwalk Boutique, who sponsored my elegant attire this evening, Marcellus.
All right, sounds good to me. All right, well, of course, we do have the rundown coming up next with Clint Watson. Stay with us.
We have more than anyone else. We are the most. We are news leaders, and credibility is the order of the day.
Why don't you come to the most? Only the Sun can cover you better than our new digital product with exclusive stories and entertaining content.
We are the most. Community TV page and radio community announcements. The most viewers and listeners in the country.
We have the most years of Bahamian history recorded. There's no archive like ours.
I came back home to bring you even more news and local programming. We're simply the most, the new ZNS.
Hey everyone, it's your boy Vontae, and welcome back to another episode of The Drop.
2 minutes to airtime. I came back home to make sure you have the most in news and entertainment. We're simply the most.
And I came back home to make sure that you have the most in information, education, entertainment, and inspiration. We're simply the most. The new ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
We've heard you. We know you're tired of the reruns. We're coming back, bigger and better, on The Legal Brief. I'm your host, Ramona Farquharson. Stay tuned.
Clint Watson has been the trusted voice of journalism for over 2 decades. He is your first choice for hard-hitting discussions, your best choice for current affairs issues and investigative journalism. It's time to start the journey of relentless journalism. It's time to start the journey of facts over fiction. It's time for the Rundown with Clint Watson here on ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
At Centerville, I'm LaDawn Davis. This is ZNS.
The Rundown is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's a brand new week. Glad to have you joining us. First of all, let me say, we were expecting to have the Valley Boys on tonight, but of course they were forced to cancel after their legal team advised them not to speak on the matter, which is expected to go before the courts. So we certainly hope they can sort this out. I know many people want to see the Valley Boys on Bay Street. I know the Saxons would prefer to beat one team rather than two. So we're hoping and wishing for the best as they get to it. But let's get to some other news that's important tonight. So y'all standing in the studio, y'all Valley Boys people, relax, calm down. All right, let's get to our news story tonight. Just as soon as it was made public, a quick response followed. The Prime Minister today moving quickly to shut down growing fears of increased water bills and new taxes on private wells. For more on that story, Devontae Hanna joins me tonight in studio live to talk more about this. Devontae, obviously he wasted no time getting in at it. Tell us more on this story.
Certainly, Clint. The Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, he put it quite simply. He said that those claims are absolutely false. That firm response to concerns raised that the government plans to raise water rates or impose taxes on homeowners with private wells. And this on the heels of reports detailing proposals from the Water and Sewage Corporation in its 2023-2028 corporate business plan that allegedly includes potential rate increases and new taxes on private wells. Well, a report in a local daily today citing documents from the Inter-American Development Bank prompting public speculation that water bills were on the way up. But according to the Prime Minister, no decision has been made.
Has caused Bahamians to believe that the government has taken some decision to increase water prices. That is absolutely not true. There's no intention of government to raise water rates at any time. Nor will we be taxing wells. In fact, the recommendations have been made many, many years for the taxing of wells dating back to the Pending administration and increasing of water rate dating back to the Pending administration. We do not intend to do either, tax wells or raise water rate.
Well, there you have it, and according to that newspaper article, it was the Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for the Water and Sewage Corporation, the Honorable Leon Lundy, who said that he disclosed that the proposals are part of ongoing discussions. But of course, he clarified that those recommendations are still in the preliminary phases and have not yet been finalized. Now, when we reached out to Lundy, he opted not to speak.
Devontae, I can imagine he's not speaking. No one's going to speak behind the Prime Minister.
Of course.
So is this etched in stone? I think we want to know, were there other recommendations that were made in this particular report?
Well, of course, we understand that there were desalination tanks and increasing taxes on those, as well as equipment for private wells. But these proposals, like all other water rates, are subject to cabinet, that is, approval and for further review. Now, Prime Minister Davis' statement put it to rest, and those growing fears are all gone as that impending price hike, of course, is no more. He emphasized that no formal decision has been made, and the government remains committed to providing affordable water access to all Bahamians.
All right, Devontae Hanna reporting. I want you to stick around, Devontae. We want to get your take on this next story we're going to talk about, which is really Climate Week in New York, where the UN General Assembly is taking place as well for world leaders and tackling the issue at the Concordia Annual Summit in New York today. Prime Minister Philip Davis sought to again drive home the urgency of shifting from the words to tangible solutions and bold investments, but having the courage to break free from outdated systems and practices. And he reasons that for that to happen, there must be a steadfast commitment to collaborate. And after all, the cost of inaction is great.
We, as leaders, must acknowledge that this is not a burden to be shared, but an opportunity to be seized, to build more resilient infrastructure, to create a cleaner and more efficient energy systems, and to foster innovation that drives economic growth. In the Bahamas, we are not sitting back and waiting. We are charting our own course, leading from the front lines of climate change with a blueprint for a more sustainable future.
The Prime Minister, whose comments come on the heels of his address to Climate Week in New York City, acknowledged, though, that despite celebrations and challenges, case in point, competition from an international order, increasing temperatures leading to drought, the Bahamas preserves mitigating a crisis it did not cause. The hope is that others will follow.
To the captains of industry, let us move beyond pledges and invest in real, tangible solutions. Direct your capital towards renewable energy, sustainable infrastructure, and climate-resilient technologies. Support the innovators in climate-vulnerable countries. Partner with us to scale up the solutions that are already working. To policymakers, let us enact bold, transformative policies that accelerate the transition to a low-carbon, climate-resilient future. End fossil fuel subsidies, implement carbon pricing mechanisms, invest in nature-based solutions, and ensure that climate action is integrated into every aspect of policymaking. To the innovators, the disruptors, the change makers, let us place climate action at the heart of our technological advancements. Let us seize this opportunity, not with apprehension, but with a renewed sense of purpose.
All right, now, Devontae, you've been reporting on this for some time now as a reporter. Do you believe Bahamians are getting this message and understanding the seriousness surrounding climate change, or is it just a cliche?
I think after Hurricane Dorian, a lot of Bahamians have opened their eyes to see what climate change can really do for us. When you look at the increased intensity of these storms, when you feel how hot it is from day to day, I think it was July 22nd earlier this year, we had our hottest day on record across the world. When you look at now, you're seeing areas across the capital that are flooding that years when I was younger, when you were younger as well, it didn't flood. All of these are results of climate change, and I think it's now, the scales from Bahamians' eyes are now opening to see what it really is.
What frightens me when you hear the realistic stories that began from Prime Minister Christie was in office, and now Prime Minister Davis carried it through. And that is when you look at portions of, they always talk about it, Go Slow Bend out west, and how the land has been reclaimed by water. They used to talk about being able to walk out further to that area, and that area is no more. It's now water. So it helps you understand that when we talk about the land being reclaimed, it's a serious thing that we can become, Prime Minister Davis always talks about it, climate refugees. A lot of people probably think, well, what does that really mean? It means that you don't have a home anymore, and you've got to relocate and live somewhere else because of what's going on in the atmosphere and what's happening with climate. We're susceptible. As our nation lies, we're susceptible, and there are portions of the Bahamas that can be no more. People will tell you stories now that there are portions of the Bahamas that are no more right now, land-wise, because of water. And I think when you hear that story, and people who've been through Dorian in Abaco and in Grand Bahama, they understand the ferociousness of weather systems, so they know firsthand. And they're the ones who don't play around with weather systems. When they hear instructions, they take heed because they've seen the wrath of these storms that are becoming stronger every year.
And believe it or not, some people from Abaco and Grand Bahama, even when they hear rain,
it triggers something. It triggers it because the reality of what it can do hits us. Now, in the capital, I think a lot of us aren't getting it because we've been fortunate. We've been not to have had a direct hit from any hurricane in years, and thank God for continuing keeping us. But the reality is, it's a real issue, and it's what the government claims that they've been spending all this time doing. And so hopefully, as we continue to do these stories, people understand the message and the importance of it, that it does affect you in one way or the next. And people will be surprised on how it can affect them. And my next guest after the break is going to talk a lot more about that. But thank you. Keep up the good work. Keep reporting and keeping our Bahamian people informed of the seriousness of that. And stay with us. When we come back, we are going to talk to an expert in climate change. She is a special advisor in the Office of the Prime Minister. And she'll talk about, you know, people talk about all this travel the Prime Minister is doing as an ambassador for climate change for the Bahamas. She'll explain to you why that's happening. She's a technical expert who's on the ground and around the world for the Bahamas. So are we getting any yield from this? Are we making any sense doing this? She's the one who's been at the helm of it, and she'll talk about it when we come back. You're watching The Rundown. We're back after this.
That's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah.
JMC Event, JMC TCI, and Sunset Village Fish Fry present I'm a Boatman, featuring KB and Fred, D-Mac, Tino D, Nishi Ellen, Sweet Emily, Wilfred Sullivan, Funky D, DVS, Veronica Bishop, Papa Smurf, Sherrod Taylor, Lil Joe Cartwright, Mama D, Colin McDonough, Chad Cully, and the VIP. And from Turks Island, the Proficient Band, and host Super P. There'll also be performances by the Swinger and the Platinum Nights Junkanoo Crew. Sunday, October 13th at Sunset Village Fish Fry, 8 Mile Rock. Sponsored by the Ministry of Grand Bahama and the Ministry of Tourism.
Welcome to our SBDC Business Tips, where we share valuable insights with small business owners. From practical advice to actionable tips, we're here to support you on your journey to success. Build a strong brand. Building a strong brand is crucial for long-term success in today's competitive business landscape. Your brand is more than just a logo. It's the essence of your business. Invest time and effort into developing a strong brand identity that reflects your values, mission, and personality. A strong brand can help you to stand out in a crowded market, build trust with your customers, and foster a long-term relationship that drives business success. We hope you find these business tips helpful. To help your business reach its full potential, visit SBDCBahamas.com or give us a call at 242-461-SBDC.
Welcome back to the Rundown. A special welcome to all of you in the Lions Den online. It's so good to have you. Make sure to leave your comments and your questions, and we'll be able to get them as soon as you put them there. We'll get them to you, but it's good to have all of you. My special guest in this segment is Special Advisor in the Office of the Prime Minister on Climate Change and Environment Matters, and she's been on the forefront of this whole fight against climate change and of climate change. Welcome, Rochelle Nouveau. It's so good to have you with us, Rochelle. I've had the opportunity when I was doing my time in the Office of the Prime Minister to work and to with you and to see you in action. And I'm one of those ones who, you know, you helped to make me a firm believer in what it is that we were seeing with climate change and the impact in our country, because it is real. And you and your team have been busy throughout the world trying to push and claim this fight for us as Bahamians. I guess I want to start right there. And I'm going to start with an obvious question. Is this real?
I think just as you said in your introductory comments, everybody now appreciates that climate change is real. Whether you were in Dorian, whether you were in Matthew, whether or not your electricity bills are going up, the heat of every morning when you wake up, there is definitely a change, whether you wish to call it climate change or whatever you want to call it. The world is changing, and there is no doubt about that. When we look at international news, we see that even in our developed country partners, long, prolonged forest fires. We see the glacial melt of the North Pole. We see the changes in the biological diversity happening around the world. We go to the beach to cool off and we're still hot.
The signs are everywhere.
So something is going on. Whether you want to call it climate change or not, the world is changing.
I know this week the focus is climate change, Climate Week in the United Nations in New York. It's Climate Week this week. Is that enough, just having a focus on climate change, or is the world actually responding to the severity of what's happening in countries?
I think, generally speaking, there are incremental changes that are occurring. And the issue here is whether or not you are a part of the change or you're sitting back and watching it happen. Climate Week in New York is a very instrumental and important part of that change, because here we would see leaders who are going to set the tone for what's going to happen at COP29. The Bahamas, as usual, punching above its beltway. We're the one who is setting the tone. The Prime Minister has had the honor of setting the tone for all the developed countries. His speech spoke to everything that we are feeling, we are experiencing, the struggle that we are in, and we as a people need to appreciate that. When we look back in history, it would be the Bahamas who set the tone, who gave the charge, who put out the call for people to stop the talk and actually do what is necessary. We see what happened in the Muslim countries and their religious activities, where thousands of people died because of heat, just literally died because it was too hot. We see that our European colleagues are now facing extensive floods that are making its way through various states within the EU. And all of this is unprecedented. They never thought about this. They didn't expect this to happen to them. We have been sitting in that space for a long time, and now they are joining us. Now they can truly appreciate, when we talk about these issues, what that really means.
Are we winning this fight? Are we seeing any return on our efforts? Are we seeing any change?
Well, 39 countries of this world are the smallest. They're the small island states of the world. And we're fighting hard against what our developed partners are doing, which are the G20 and the big boys. These are the ones who are creating the problem that we are inheriting because of the level of development that they have enjoyed for decades, right? What we have done in 1996 with the Paris Agreement, we all agreed, yes, you have profited, you've created the circumstance, and you have to help us make these adjustments that are now, these chickens that are now coming home to roost, we need your assistance in addressing them. You've agreed to that. So going to these meetings is always pulling that card, reminding them that it is your responsibility to help us help ourselves, because you are constantly contributing to the level of impacts that we're suffering. And it's not that we can go in there and turn the tap off in your house. You must turn that tap off, because if we try to break and enter, then, you know, there's a whole lot of other issues.
Exactly.
So getting them to understand and appreciate, you cannot have
have anybody understand what it is to walk in your shoes unless you give them your shoes to walk in. And you can't do that if you're not engaging with them. So it is important for us to be at the table. It is important for us to engage because it is our constant reminder, our constant demand for them to do the right thing. If we're not there, then they're going to sit on their laurels and be comfortable and say everything's okay, no one's complaining. But we must be that aggravating point that's poking and poking at them because the earth is crying out, and the Bahamians have always been attuned to our physical environment. And these individuals who have been a part of the developed nations are sitting up in high rises, enjoying air condition. You know, they're chilling out, they're playing their games. They're not as in tune with the environment as we are. But now they're experiencing what we have because of the fires, because of the smoke, because of the flooding. Now they're starting to appreciate what's that going on out there, where we've been sitting out there this whole time, battling the elements that they have created.
At COP27 in Egypt, a major breakthrough came when it was decided that, yes, this fund needs to be established. This fund, we need to be able to put this in place so that people can access funding for those stations, for those countries that are vulnerable. Has that happened yet, and what is the holdup?
Right, so, yes, when we were in Dubai, we finally got what we've been battling for 30 long years. The agreement that there would be a loss and damage fund. And countries then agreed to provide, they made their initial contributions, which totaled $800 million. We know $800 million is insufficient to deal with global loss and damage due to climate change because even just the small island states of the world being 39, we have all the African states, all the least developed countries of the world. They're part of this accessing to the fund. So now we just returned back from a meeting in Baku in Azerbaijan, where we had the third meeting of the Loss and Damage Fund. And I'm happy to say that the Bahamas holds a seat on that board. So us, Antigua, Barbados, we are fighting the cause for the Caribbean to ensure that the other board members do not forget what this fund is about, where this money needs to be held, and how it needs to be managed. We brokered a deal with the World Bank so that they would be able to assist in the administration of the funds because our developed partners felt like, well, we don't know if you can really handle all this hundreds of millions of billions of dollars you're asking for. But they were comfortable with the World Bank, so we negotiated with the World Bank. We came to an agreement. We've engaged an executive director. So when we go to COP in COP29, we are a business open to receive all the donations you are willing to give us, that you are required to give us, that you've promised to give us. And so there will be no issue about how it will be administrated. We see when Beryl came through a few months ago in the Caribbean, it tucked and it hit every island in the region. No $800 million is going to be able to address anything that comes. And as we continue to expect more intense hurricanes, we know the damage is going to be great. You mentioned the issue of climate refugees. Our Pacific partners who are part of the 38 islands of the world, they're already negotiating with Australia for places that they can move their people because the ocean has already started to reclaim their islands. So they have to move, not later, now. Now they have to move. And we in the Bahamas, we have been so privileged to not have to experience that at the extent that they have, but it is creeping in, like you say. You talked about Go Slow Bend. I want to draw the attention to Adelaide. When we go straight to the end of Adelaide Road, there used to be a graveyard there. That has long since been gone. And we will continue to see more and more of the land being consumed by the sea. And you cannot over-engineer Mother Nature. We have to work in tandem with her. We have to use nature-based solutions to address our needs.
I want to take a break. When we come back, people are asking online, I feel the same way. What can we do? What can Bahamians do to play their role in protecting this beautiful land that we call the Bahamas? What could we do? I see Savi Benabi saying, what's the solution to this? And so many others are asking the same thing too. Somebody said, pack your bags. But I mean, the reality is there's something we can do now. And I want to talk about that after the break. Stay close. You're watching The Rundown. We're back after this.
is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs. Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine one.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
From June 1st to November 30th, the ZNS Radio and Television Network is the #1 source in the Bahamas for hurricane information before, during, and after a storm. Now is the time to choose your radio and television hurricane season ad packages. Get extra special rates and run the ads only when you want them to run. Call the ZNS sales office today at 502-3800.
Welcome back to the Rundown. We're talking about climate change. It's important. It's Climate Week at the United Nations, and so we're giving some time and focus on it, particularly as a nation where we're still susceptible to climate change. We ought to be talking about it. We ought to be talking about it more. And if you're not talking about it, you ought to start talking about it, because you either will be impacted by it or you've known someone who's been impacted by it. These strong storms and hurricanes, these heavy rainfalls, the significant amount of flooding, all of these are the result of climate change. And it's something you ought to be aware of, because it impacts the future. And you may not be around to see it, but your children and your children's children and their children's children will be around and impacted by it and could possibly not have a Bahamas. Could you imagine we have all of these beautiful islands and to say one of them we lose because of flooding or because of sea level rising? It's a real issue. And I know your mind, you're saying, oh, that ain't gonna never happen. Ask countries where it's happened. There are places right now, there are islands that are no more. And that's the reality of climate change. My special guest, of course, is the advisor in the Office of the Prime Minister on Climate Change and Environmental Matters, Rochelle Newbold. And before the break, I was quoting something that Savi Benabi said online, and it was what many people are asking: what could Bahamians do? What should we do to act, to be able to mitigate or fight against or slow up what's happening, if that's even possible?
Yeah, well, the thing is that the Earth is a living organism. So it tries to react and it tries to adjust based on what it's being impacted by or any changes that are occurring. But man has the propensity and the willpower to always seek to destroy and change and mold things. The best thing we can do is to try to live in harmony with nature, meaning if there is a wetland in your neighborhood, don't consider that a mosquito pond and therefore wanting to fill it in. What a wetland really is a sponge. What it does is, during the times of storm surges, it will hold the water in the area in which it occupies. And when that storm goes out and recedes, it would allow the water to go out.
Really?
Yes. What happens, though, is we fill in the wetland, right? And then we throw a house on top of it, and then the storm surge comes, and the water, following the natural topography of the benthic environment of the ocean, it comes right back into the land. When it gets into the land, there's nothing to hold it. So it sits around your house, it goes into the road, it goes all around the neighborhood, and when the storm recedes, it stays because we've changed the way the land flows. We've changed the dynamics where that water would have gotten sucked into the soil and then drained out through that soil and being drawn back out during the high-low tide changes. But that doesn't happen anymore because we've done that. I live in a community where we had wetlands on both sides, on the east and the west. The east side wetland got filled in, and with just rain, the houses that used to border that flooded. The west side continued to thrive. When the hurricanes came, the west side continued to do its job. It held the water, it expelled it back out. It's the east side, the water came in and it stayed for days. We also need to stop removing the vegetation off the land. Don't buy your property, which is already very expensive, and then seek to cut down every living thing that's on top of it, and then throw dirt on it, and then throw your house on it, then go to the landscaper and pay more some money to put some other things on it, then use up the water to water those things you bought. So we seem to be working harder, not smarter. Using natural vegetation allows the earth to do what it needs to do. It provides areas for the water to be absorbed into the earth, and it also provides a cooling effect through the transpiration that the leaves generate. If your land is hot, it's because you have no vegetation on it. Trees naturally bring down the temperature. That's why we seek to go under the tree into the shade, because that's what it naturally does. If we would just do these two little things, stop clearing land and filling in wetlands and plant more native trees, we would see these microclimates being created in our neighborhoods that make it a little bit more bearable. And then those of us who have the opportunity or the financial wherewithal, what we can do now too is try and utilize more solar power as opposed to using fossil fuel-based things. My biggest pet peeve that I try to bring to the attention of Bahamians is cheap is cheap for a reason. We buy a lot of these little $2,000, $3,000 Japanese cars. This is because Japan itself, by 2050, will not be making anything, no parts, no anything for that vehicle. They're slowly, from 2030 to 2050, they're going to be EV vehicles straight throughout. Everywhere on this planet, any major automotive industry is changing to EV. Even the United States, who bucked it at first, who didn't want to do it, so they thought, oh, we can do hybrids. And then they're easing their way incrementally into it. Do not allow yourself to become the dumping ground, the receiver.
That's what's happening. They're sending all those vehicles out of their country because they're not going to use them anymore.
Exactly. And then what you find, and I think we've even starting to experience it now, if you need a carburetor or a transmission or whatever,
you can't find the part for it.
Exactly. So I park my little car, and the more I come and I put my keys and I turn it, and nothing happened because my mechanic fellow friend there gone and abscond with that for the other person's vehicle. We don't want to create a society where we're so dependent on other things to happen that we robbing Peter to pay Paul. We need to become more independent. We need to become more driven as a people to make sure that we can ensure we have a future where we are thriving, not surviving, but actually thriving. That means that we might have to make hard decisions. We might have to pull that money until we can get the vehicle that will last us for another 20 years, not the vehicle that will last us for 5 years, because that's a waste of funds.
Energy efficiency is so important because I believe it helps to reduce the cost of electricity, right? And of course, if it's hotter, you burn more, you use more. The refrigerator is constantly in use. You're constantly trying to keep the air conditioner on to keep you cool and so forth. And I've found that people whose homes have energy-efficient appliances and light bulbs, their electricity bill is significantly less than those who don't have those things in place. So there is a direct relation between what you use and consume because of the heat and your electricity bill if you use more energy-efficient models, correct?
Anything that emits heat in your house is drawing a lot of energy. And so you need to utilize light bulbs. When you touch them, they're never hot.
Right.
Those are the ones. And yes, that might cost you a couple more cents or $1 or $2, depending on how high value it is. But what you're doing is saving yourself that same level of investment over time. And sometimes, that's what I say, don't go for cheap. Cheap isn't always the best way to go. Now, I can tell you that what we're doing is we're, through the National Emissions Registry, we're bringing on several initiatives to try to help businesses, to try to help residential homeowners, those social safety nets that we have, provide them with opportunities like tax breaks and exemptions to bring in these sort of technologies such that they would be able to lessen the grid. Because what we don't need is no load shedding, because it's too hot for that.
No, we can't be doing that. Can't be doing that. Are you ensuring that they pass on these same savings to the consumers? Because it'd be wonderful if I get tax break as a business owner, but am I passing that on?
Yes. A part of the program initiative would be to ensure that the consumer at the tail end of the whole program is also experiencing a benefit, because now you have the opportunity to get something into the country where you're saving a couple dollars. That saving has to be passed on.
Now I'm gonna ask, because we did this whole ban on plastics. Is that helping? Are we seeing the results of that? Does it make sense?
Well, plastic bans in general is a global issue. For the Bahamas, microplastics in the ocean is bad for us. It's bad for our fisheries, because what happens is the fish eat that thinking they're belly full. They're not eating, the fish dies. We never get to eat the fish because the fish is gone. The birds are dying, the sharks are dying, the whales are dying. Everybody is dying because everybody's trying to use plastics. So globally, there is this whole issue. Single-use plastics must be done away with, and that's why you see they have a lot of bamboo. People are utilizing bamboo, or they're trying to recycle plastics or reutilize the plastic in another way, so that it's not a one-time off product, but that it has other iterations whereby it'll be lending itself to the use for the good of mankind.
This, no doubt, can make people overwhelmed. They may say, well, what am I going to do? This Bahamas all I know. What do I do? What do you say to people as to, I guess, offer some level of hope and to people who may think, well, gee, we're all just going to die?
Well, I mean, there is always two sides to the coin. If we do nothing, we will all die. If we're not out there making sure people are aware of our cause, the fact that we do exist and they are threatening our very existence, then they're going to continue doing what they're doing, and then we're going to continue to suffer. So our job is one. As parents, I always encourage them, get your children to look at new and innovative education streams. The doctor, the baker, the candlestick maker, they're gone. They're gone. Everything is changing, and we must change with it. We need to also change our habits. Our culture is intrinsic to us. Like you say, if the Bahamas was wiped out to face the earth, that's a whole people that's just lost, like the Lucayan Indians. Where are they now? Right? We cannot follow suit. We inherited what they left behind. Let's make sure that that is our trademark, to show that we are a thriving, surviving people. We came from good African stock. We were able to survive that transatlantic trip. We are strong people, and therefore we need to use our youth, our vitality, our wisdom to plan for a future that enables us to be a strong, vibrant country. Like I said, the Bahamas is out there, the Prime Minister is out there giving a speech. He's pleading, he's agitating, he's invoking the call, not just for Bahamas, but for all the island countries of the world. The Bahamas was one of the first of 5 countries to sign on to the UN Law of the Sea. We have always been at the forefront of global change. Our people need to remember. The Bible says that it's important for us to know our past so that we will be able to understand what our future holds. If we don't understand who we are as a people, people could come in and tell us anything. They can sell us any bill of goods. But we are a strong, vibrant people, and we need not let climate change, we need not to let global economic downturns. Take care of our neighbors, look after each other, inspire our communities the way they used to be, what our parents and our grandparents talked about. We are the same people. There is no way for us to go. Everybody is seeing this insular move within countries. The United States is putting high taxes and tariffs on imports of goods from other places. We also have the ability to do that. In the Caribbean, CARICOM is a tool that we've been using since the 1960s. I remember as a kid, boats used to come in with fruits and vegetables coming from the south, from the southern islands of the Caribbean. We need to harmonize as a people and take care of our needs, but we also need to let the world know that we're not cutting them no slack, we ain't giving them no blind. They need to own up to what they have done, and they need to do what they promised to do, because We have a differentiated responsibility, meaning you're a guy, I'm a woman. I might not be able to lift the same amount of you, but if we're both lifting to try to get from one thing to another, we will be more efficient together than it is for one of us to be working separate from the other. And that's the important part right there. We're all got one planet. All of us need to use this one planet in a way that allows it to function properly. It ensures a good livelihood for everybody living here. Everybody can be in peace. There's justice. There's a thriving community of people. Without that, the world fails.
Yeah.
If the world fails, we all fail.
Rochelle Nouveau, thank you so much for coming on and sharing that with us. And hopefully our people will become more aware and take a stand and understand what we're doing on the front line globally for our nation. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Still to come tonight, buying a home. How difficult or easy is it in the Bahamas? Well, we'll discuss this and more right after the break. You do not want to go anywhere. We're back after this.
Hardware is the helpful place. Everything you need under one roof. From electrical, paint, plumbing, outdoor, barbecue, automotive, lawn and garden, pet supply, houseware, and seasons. Hurricane season is now here. So for all your hurricane needs, we have a 25% off bargain zone.
Hey, thanks. I would have given more stuff, but I didn't bring my money. I thought this was a glove, and I thought everything was free. Finally know what it is now. Ace.
We're located on St. Albans Drive, West Bay Street. Open Monday to Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and closed for lunch 2 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Wondering where your favorite shows went? Well, they're still right here at ZNS with new times and some with new days. You can catch Chef Manny auditioning up on Mondays at 9:30 p.m. Shock Treatment gets your youth in order at 9 p.m. on Tuesdays. The Legal Brief with Ramona Farquharson brings you the best legal advice on Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. And Gavel Slam, Case Closed. Justice for Judge Carroll is back on air Thursdays at 9 p.m. And on Thursdays at 9:30, Bonte and Nika B brings you The Drop. So welcome to the new ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
I don't know, but what kind of cars is this parking? You ain't even know where to park. Yeah, that's no parking. Look at this way. Like, he ain't got nowhere to go. Don't park him. That's no parking.
Don't park over here. That's handicap.
No, you can't park on handicap. I ain't gonna be that long. I ain't gonna be that long. Handicap spot, boy, what's going on, dog? I tell you we shouldn't park here now. This way park here.
I tell you we shouldn't park here.
Y'all get one of these things. My bar big broke, and he got a sticker inside. This ain't this mud though. We gotta move. This is a handicap spot. But we gotta move. Don't. We can move right now. Sorry.
Be considerate. Don't use disabled parking spaces without a decal in your vehicle. This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
Back to the rundown, and thank you for all of you who are tuning in and watching, especially those of you online on YouTube and of course in the Lions Den here on Facebook. We're so appreciative for you. Well, this next topic I think is important. Many of you want to hear about it. It's perhaps the biggest investment you'll ever make, purchasing a home. While it's a dream of many, the reality is a different story. Whether you want to build or purchase, it seems like obstacle after obstacle steps in your way when you make up your mind to get it all done. So let's give you some tips on how we can do this. My teleprompter operator is obviously having a bad day today. My next guest knows all too well how to overcome these challenges. Having been a top salesperson in 2023 for HG Christie Real Estate, and now he is set to bring all the players together this weekend for a special exchange. His name is, of course, Darren Seymour. Welcome to the show. So good to have you.
Good to be here.
Okay, so let's talk about it, because people, who doesn't want a home? Right? People want to have their home. It's a sense of achievement, sense of accomplishment, but more important than that, it's something people thrive for, to be able to own their home and not rent all the days of their lives. Is buying a home something that can be easy, or is it a difficult thing to do?
It can be a daunting task, and many persons I interact with tell of the experiences they have going through the process, the banking process. And customer service is a problem in our country in many areas. Some people talk about the legal process. And then the thing about it, in the Bahamas, we don't have registered title like in the United States. And so the average transaction, I was told when I first came into real estate, was 4 to 6 months. I've seen it 9 months, like a pregnancy, or even beyond a year.
Wow, just to get things done.
There's so many things. For example, you know, with the tax now, we now have the tax implementation of the tax system, because before the Bahamas didn't really have a tax system. Now we have tax. That's an issue. That's something that people have to overcome.
Because Inland Revenue has to be able to ensure that all their satisfactions are met and make sure you have nothing outstanding before you can even go forward a transaction.
Your property has to be registered in the system. And even before you pay off a loan, the bank would ask you for your tax certificate, because they have to ensure that you owe no taxes on that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to get your satisfaction of mortgage.
Wow.
And so it's very necessary. Now we have the implementation of the credit bureau, where everybody, you can have all of your loans in one place. So you have to be very responsible in how you lend, and because it's all going to affect whether you're going to be able to qualify for a loan.
What do you advise people? You're in real estate, so I'm almost sure I know what the answer is going to be. Is it sometimes better to build, or is it better to buy?
It depends on where you are in your life. Personally, I'm at that turning point. I could build or I could buy. Right now in the Bahamas, the cost of building is more expensive. We're just out of COVID. We're just out of COVID. And prices are higher right now. So persons may choose to buy something that is less. Right now, I had a home on the market, over $1 million, but to build that home would cost more than to buy. So why go through the headache of going through the process of building when you have something that's feasible for you to buy? And so it depends on the situation. Right now, most persons would say it's a seller's market, but you still have deals in the market. Just before you came, we went to a house out west, and you know it's hard to find a home in the west over below $500,000. But interestingly, we have one there. So you have deals in the market, even though it may be a seller's market. There are condos that you can buy. There are opportunities. So it depends on the situation. You can buy, you can build, or you can buy. It depends on your appetite.
The average Bahamian, obviously, if they want to build or buy a home, will probably go through the route of financing. I don't know if the average Bahamian has saved up $500,000 in the bank and say, hey, I want to buy a home. Here's my money. Go ahead, buy it. And even if that was the case, the home would be $500,000. By the time you pay the fees, the stamp tax, and all the other taxes associated with it, it's a whole lot of stuff. It almost feels as though banks aren't wanting to lend the money because it seems to be so much red tape in being able to purchase a home. As a real estate agent, how do you overcome the hurdle when people say, listen, I want to buy, but the hassle of going through the bank and what the bank is asking for does not seem realistic in this day and time?
But you know, first of all, you don't have to go through a bank. You can go through some insurance companies. Some people don't know you can go through credit unions. There are a lot of avenues. And nowadays, today, as a lot of people don't know, the central bank, which regulates banks, has made it a lot easier for Bahamians in terms of reducing the requirement in terms of deposit requirements, relaxing them. Now, of course, as a country as a whole, we want to be responsible because reality is some Bahamians do not pay their bills, which could make it difficult for us. But the central bank has relaxed. Of course, it's all based on the person's level in terms of have you been saving. Also, you've been paying off your loan. So they're not just going to go and issue it to anyone. The standard deposit is 10%. Now, some banks like CIBC before allowed Bahamians to just come up with 5% down. Now, you have banks like Scotiabank, since the relaxation, can offer that service. The reason why CIBC could do it because they had something called indemnity insurance to insure their risk. And so, at the end of the day, we don't want the Bahamas to collapse because people don't pay off their loans. It's not that the banks don't really want you to get a loan, you know. They have to protect their risk. At the end of the day, they don't want you to have to suffer the embarrassment of having to lose your home. And, you know, so therefore you have to be pre-qualified. So this is why we're having this conference on the weekend. We have CIBC, we have Scotiabank going to be on hand for giving free advice, getting you pre-qualified so that you will be ready. Right now, it's September. I'm already in 2025 because the average transaction, like I said, finance takes 4 to 6 months. So this is a reset now, getting persons ready for what's happening in 2025. A lot of things are also based on even the U.S. market. You know, we're preparing for the elections in the U.S. market. Does that affect us? Yes, it does.
How does it affect us?
Some people are in a wait and see position. That is not just the local investor, but also the U.S. investors or even Canadians. We're affected by the U.S. Wow. And so persons are at a standstill waiting and seeing. At the same time, you still have opportunities even now that persons can take advantage of. And so we're inviting persons to come to this conference because you want to get pre-qualified from early in the morning, 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and also be a part of the discussions. We have top experienced persons like John Christie, the managing director of H.C. Christie, who's going to be there giving you a free advice. We have the Bahamas Contractors Association talking about building. He's Mr. President, Mr. Leonard Sands. He's going to be there. We have financial experts, Scotia, CIBC. We have lawyers like Graham Thompson. We have the government going to be there. The Senator Darren Cash going to talk about this legislation that's coming. So we have a perfect opportunity for you to come and experience it. Also, we have developers like Palm Key and also Goldwyn going to be in the house. So every level of the investment, whether you are at $1 million or above, or down to 300,000, we're going to be represented there. $10,000 in Exuma, you can get a property in Exuma for $10,000.
10 grand?
Yeah.
You better go buy your property in Exuma. That's going to be worth a lot in a matter of years.
Listen, you heard the lady talking about climate change earlier, but all of these, you're affected by real estate. And most rich people in the world got their riches through real estate. Stock investments are good. We've been in banking, but real estate is still number one investment.
I have a question for somebody who's in the line, and she says, ask them if there are any reliable rent-to-own programs that can alleviate the stress of going through a bank initially. Is rent-to-own easier?
Rent-to-own is an option. It's more or less a financing option. That's each owner decide on whether they're going to enter into that. It's very risky. It's something I don't practice or encourage because most of the times persons are really not qualified. You know, they go into these transactions and then they said, the transaction said you come up with about 50% of them funds. And in 3 years, if you don't come up with the balance, you're going to lose that, all of that. And sometimes people go in and say, oh, I'm going to believe in faith that I'm going to have, and they find themselves disappointed because you're really not qualified for that. Now, that could work for someone who may be getting a lump sum, you know, in the next 2 or 3 years, they know for sure. But you know, you still have to be pre-qualified. You still have to know that this is something that would work for you. Yes, it can work in some cases, and you do have some developers like the Tuscan Shores, like some persons decide that they would self-finance or they would owner finance. But it sounds good, but you have to see whether that is really the thing for you.
Are Bahamians prepared to become homeowners? Based on what you see, people have contacted you, people have come to you. Is the average Bahamian prepared to be able to go into the whole idea of purchasing or building a house?
You do have some Bahamians who are prepared, who have their savings. You know, they've saved up their down payment, they've saved up their closing cost because they're educated and they understand what needs to be done. It's like going to a doctor. Some people, I'm not going to go to the doctor because, you know, they're afraid. We're bringing the experts to them to give them the information. It doesn't hurt to know what you need to do, even if you do not qualify. You know, you know that if you don't qualify, that you need to get rid of this loan in order that you would be qualified. And that's why we're having these assessments now, so that you be prepared and know and be ready for when the opportunity hits. So yes, a lot of people are not ready, but we're here to help and ensure that they are ready by giving them the financial expertise, giving them the legal expertise, giving them all the tools like the inland revenue experts that are going to be at this conference to help them make informed decisions so that you're not crying down the road that, you know, you went and tried to invest in this $500,000 house, and at the end of the day, you lose it with the banks.
What does the average house cost? The average house?
You know, we have different, that's a wide question, but, you know, you have, because we have so many, we have an archipelago. So you have Abaco.
Middle class, Bahamian living in the capital, middle class, decent home for a family. What would that run you into?
$300,000 to $500,000.
And so you would need down, well, how much money would that person need to secure between obviously them and their spouse to ensure that they're able to close on this and cover costs?
So if it's $300,000 house, 10% down.
30,000.
Yeah, and or you can, you know, some banks now saying 5% down, and then you need your closing costs. You can average, you know, let's say 2.5% for the legal fees. You have to pay the government because now they're requiring a certain amount. Let's just say 10%. You know, the government now has made it easier for Bahamians. You know, they have a graduated scale, but let's just say 10%, and usually the buyer and the seller share those costs. So let's say 5% plus 2.5% legal fees. And of course, the seller, in most cases, pays the real estate commission.
So you're looking at roughly about $40,000 on a $300,000 home?
It can be, yeah.
So that's something you have to plan up and save for?
You plan and you save, yes. And that's something it's not in our culture to save, but it's something that we have to train ourselves and become, you know, put it in our system to do it. Because other people are doing it, we can do it too.
We can do it too. Tell us again, now on Saturday, the Bahamas Real Estate Exchange, which you've started, you're bringing all of the necessary people together under one roof so Bahamians can learn more about how to become homeowners and qualify.
Right.
Tell them where this is going to happen and what they need to do.
We're bringing a lot of the significant players on board. Of course, in one conference, you can only bring so many people. So we recognize that there are other stakeholders that may not be a part of this conference, but in general, we have a great representation of persons who will be there to help them, the bankers, the lawyers, the surveyors, the
construction companies,
and of course the realtors, and also the tax expert. So also we have an expo at the beginning where businesses are allowed to promote their business. So persons will be there like AC technicians, generator persons who will be there to talk about what they offer in terms of a home. Anything that you can think about regarding a home will be there so that you can get great advice for your future development.
How can people get more information or register? What do they do?
Can register through Eventbrite, or you can go to See More Real Estate. That's SEEMOREREALESTATE.com. Call me at 357-9003 or call H.E. Christie. They will give you that information, 322-1041.
Saturday, 11 to 5.
11 to 5. Come out. Don't miss it. This is your opportunity now. Get your piece of the rock. Don't complain that the foreigners, they will be there. We have invited some persons, even at Goldman. Let's see if the Bahamians take advantage of this, another opportunity for you to expand and grow.
Darren, thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight. We appreciate you. This show has been brought to you by Jamaica Bahama Imports. Collect the I Am a Boatman concert with KB and Friends, CBS, Little Caesars Pizza, Ace Hardware, the Small Business Development Center, Bamboo Shock Express. If your business is on that, then you're not serious about doing business. You got to get on this list, man. What you waiting on? Call us and let's get you on this list today. That's our show for tonight. But tomorrow, you hear us talking about banks? The president of the Bahamas Clearing Banks Association will be here. We're asking him all the tough questions. What y'all doing with all these fees going up? Why y'all putting up all these fees in banks? Why y'all doing all these things about modernization to get people out of the bank? We're going to put the tough questions to the clearing banks tomorrow. You do not want to miss that show. Also, I've got a story that's going to inspire you. If you remember the tragic death of Don Saunders, well, we've got something inspiring to tell you regarding his son. And his son will actually be here tomorrow night. It's going to be a great show tomorrow night. You don't want to miss it. That does it for us at Rundown. For all of us here at ZNS News, I'm Clint Watson. Thanks so much for joining us. Don't forget to join us for the Bahamas tonight at 11 with Royston Jones. I already see him. He's here getting ready for 11 o'clock. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night, everyone.
This event, JMC TCI and Sunset Village Fish Fry present I'm a Boatman, featuring KB and Fred, D-Mac, Tino D, Nishi Ellis, Sweet Emily, Wilfred Sullivan, Funky D, BVS, Veronica Bishop, Papa Smurf, Gerard Taylor, Lil Joe Cartwright, Mama D, Colin McDonough, Chad Cully, and the VIP. And from Turks Island, the Proficient Band, and host Super P. There'll also be performances by the Stringer and the